What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. This is Agree to Disagree. Eagles blow a 21-point lead. We're going to break it all down. Here we go.
Uncle Sweeps, Nick Delgazzo, the legendary Brian Wilson, and the fucking man himself, Tom Arnone. These three guys from Jersey bringing you real talk with no agenda. You don't like them? Tough shit. It's their show, and they're going to say whatever the hell they goddamn want.
Welcome in, everybody. This is Agree to Disagree, only on HUD Radio every Sunday. Brought to you by our doc, make them yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, locations in Burlington, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. As always, that's Greg Mlakovic. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, welcome in. Let's talk about it, baby. We got a lot to go over. Crumb of the week at the end of the show. We'll give you an early look in Eagles-Bears on Black Friday. Is this loss that just happened? Do we have some concern, even more concern? We'll talk about it. Eagles-Cowboys postgame, main topic at hand. Everything runs together here. It all runs together. Right into our poll. The Eagles coaching staff is primarily responsible for a 21-point choke job, proving they were outcoached and unprepared in the second half. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live everywhere. You get your podcast, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, follow. Most importantly, join the conversation. Join it. Get it off your chest tonight. This is why we do it, right? When we talk about why we do this and what makes me feel better, this always has made me feel better over the years after losses. Yes, I mean, I do agree. It's a combination because, yeah, I mean, a lot happens to blow a 21-point lead. A lot has to happen. Okay, 21-point leads blowing them don't happen all the time. If you have that lead in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, doesn't really matter. They're hard to blow. Like you could blow a 21-point lead but still win the game. Make sense? Like it's almost like runs in basketball. It's hard for a team to end up winning a game. They come back all the way from that. Okay, that kind of deficit. So here we are. And why did we? Yeah, I think a little bit's unprepared, but I think a lot of it's discipline, focus, right? Because what are penalties? Penalties are discipline and focus.
Yeah.
Way too many. Like drive killers, right? The big one at Dallas Goddard, which was, we don't know if it was lined up wrong or not, but there was two of them. And the one that Devontae Smith that got called for the pick was a BS call. Okay, because the quarterback made contact, and there was a lot of BS calls to get it to 21-14 on the one drive to get it to 21-14 for the Cowboys. There was. All right. But that being said, we had way too many penalties and way too many penalties in the second half that has set you back and not allow an offense that's good enough to get into a rhythm. But you know why? Actually, I'm going to disagree because to the poll. I'm going to agree to coaching, obviously responsible for it. Everything plays a part. When you can't run the football, this is what you get. This is what you get. And when we've talked about this, the biggest concerns throughout the year, and everybody talks passing game, and that's not a concern of mine. It hasn't been really, is when you can't run the football, you can forget about the rest. I don't care how great of a passing game you have. I don't care how great your wide receivers are. I don't care how smart of a coaching staff you have. You can't finish games. You can't close games out.
Yep.
This is a game. If you can just run the football half decently, you win this game.
Yep.
But when you're running a yard and a half per clip, when it's a struggle to run the football, when guys are 3 yards in the backfield and you can't run it at all, you can miss me with everything else. Okay, you can blame this on a lot of people and blame away, but it starts up front. And from the first time we all watched football, the one thing we were always taught is you went up front on both sides of the football. So when you're losing up there, and where every quarterback talks about where you need a run game, we have no run game. That's a big reason why you blow a 21-point lead.
Yep.
It's a major reason why, and then penalties are the other reason why. There are two reasons. If you guys want to blame Patullo and Sirianni, be my guest, right? And I'm sure there's reasons to blame both. both. I mean, it's his football team, Nick, but I got confidence Nick will clean them up. Okay. But if you want to be the fire Kevin Patullo train, be my guest. I'm not going to disagree with you. Right. But what I am saying is you're not watching the rest. Like, we got to run the football better than this. And with a guy like Saquon Barkley, the fact that we can't. And what do we have? 63 yards on the ground today? And part of that
all that was Jalen.
Yeah, 63 yards on the ground. I mean, we cannot run the football. You want to know why we lost today? That's why.
33 was Jalen.
You become one-dimensional. This is bad. I mean, this is bad. When you can't run the football against them. So who are you going to run the football against? So I disagree with the poll. I think it's more than just the coaching. I think it starts up front with this offensive line and the ability to run the football a little bit and sustain it. And then penalties up front. And it's just continuous. It seems like it happens every game that we'll have our drive and we'll feel like we're getting going and bang, penalty. Brings us back, kills the drive. And too much of it. And then obviously the fumbles, right? The big Saquon fumble. And then you have a big, and then you have a big fumble inside the 2. Not sure why you're running that punt return out, but they're all the reasons why. And, coaching heads into that. But that's where I'm at. So I guess I'm disagreeing because that's, to me, it's so much.
Yeah, Tommy, I absolutely disagree with the poll, and I'll dive right just down into the offensive line. Right, over the last few weeks, we've talked about how bad the offensive line has been, in the fact that we can't run the football, as you mentioned. Right, we can't run the football. Right, every time Saquon touched the ball, he was getting hit in the backfield, whatever. Right, like you said, there's plenty of blame to go around in when you lose a 21-point lead in the first half and lose the game. But to me, it all starts in the offensive line. You look at a few of the plays, and everyone wants to crush Patullo, and I get it. It's easy to crush Patullo, but I can't crush him tonight because of how many penalties that we had on the offensive line and getting set up. And yes, I understand a lot of that is discipline, but that's the players playing the game, right? So I put it solely on the players that lost this game. Fred Johnson on that Devontae catch for a first down. Fred Johnson, hands in the face. It wasn't a ticky-tack call. That was legit hands in the face right in front of the umpire or the referee or whatever, right? So that brings that call back. You mentioned about the 2 Dallas Goedert ones. The first one was a huge play that got us down in the Cowboys territory that was brought back because of a formation penalty. And then we talked about then you mentioned the other one about the pick from Devontae and stuff. You can't expect an offensive coordinator to do anything when you continue to put yourself behind the sticks. We saw that. What had happened in the first half that helped us get the lead, right? Dallas continued to make mistakes and give us the football or give us short field or give us an extra down because of a penalty, and that's how we were able to get going. And we, in turn, in the second half, did that exactly to them. So I put this solely on the players. I put this solely on the offensive line. Sure, there's blame to go everywhere, but yeah, I'm not putting this one at Patullo's feet. You can put every other game where you want at Patullo's feet. I'm not putting this one, at least me personally. I'm probably from reading Twitter and the comment section already, I'm probably in the minority there, but he's not going anywhere. So can we stop with the fire Patullo?
Yeah, Jason Bennett said 14 penalties in the game is way too many.
Yeah.
That's how you allow bad teams to stay in games or teams that aren't as good as you. That's one reason how. And they did, and it showed you.
Yep.
Chris Kaufman, appreciate the super chat. Says Bigsby needs to play more starting next week. And I mean, I've been saying it for weeks. I just feel like you get just a change of pace, and they don't seem to really want to do that. And when you're up 21-0, that's a perfect time to maybe start getting a guy more touches, etc. But they killed themselves today. Pat says, I don't even know where to begin. They can't run the ball. Why are we fielding punts to the 1-yard line? Yep. Defense. They were on the field for 40 minutes. What does anybody expect? Offense losses the game. Penalties losses, and the refs suck. Yep. Combo guard of a bunch of things.
Yep.
For sure. Not all refs, but a part of it to make it 21-14. Alluded to that earlier. But you got to run the football. I mean, I'm not trying to make this show like the Captain Obvious. Let's just get the basic 101 of football. But again, from the first time you learn about football, you learn how you win, right? And it's off of play action. It's running the football. It's sustaining drives, things that have killed this football team throughout the entire year.
All year.
Yeah. So what changes that? Well, what changes that is running the ball well enough. Like they didn't even have to be a top 10 rushing attack.
Yep.
If they were just top 15, this offense would be way better.
Yes.
And that's the biggest issue. So until they figure out the run game, the rest is just whatever. And I put a lot of the penalties on the media. And you're going to say, Tom, really? Yeah, because it's a flat out distraction. Mm-hmm. Everything else is a distraction. Now, you got to be a better football team and can't let that seep in, right? But that just, to me tells me it's a football team not focused and not disciplined. And maybe that's because everything else being talked about. Okay? But if you can't run the football, you ain't cutting nets down. You ain't going deep in the playoffs. And, what else can I say?
Yeah.
What else can I say? I mean, we spent a ton of money on a running back, and he's averaging, goodness gracious, I don't even want to tell you what he's averaging.
He's booty cheeks.
I mean, it's bad. There's too much dancing.
And it's not him, right? But
some's him, and some's
him because he's trying to make up for what the offensive line is not providing.
Yeah, I mean, he's having 3.7 yards to carry. So I mean, that's not where anybody signed up for. But when you can't block and you just can't get anything else going offensively, guys, and that's where you just can't get the consistency of drives and the finishing of drives and the sustaining of drives and putting a team away up 21-0. How do you do that? Well, that's a 6-7 minute drive away from that game not mattering. At some point in that game, if there's a 6 or 7 minute Eagle drive in there, which we've not seen yet this year.
All year. We've been asking for it.
Yeah, been begging for it. If there was a 6 or 7 minute Eagle drive built into that game somewhere, the Cowboys don't win this football game.
Yep.
And that's what's missing. So, everybody wants to know where it is and why there's inconsistencies offensively. There it is. So, and you're right. You're right, Jerron. He says, Cam Jurgens and his team have been letting too much pressure up the middle. I will move Jurgens to guard and bring Toth back to center. Offense ran the ball well with Toth at center. Or better. Yeah, I actually agree with you, man. I wouldn't even be against that. Where wasn't Jurgens like a combo where he could do both?
He did. Yeah, he did. Kelsey's last year, he played guard.
Yeah.
But last year you won, and again, it's last year, but last year you won a Super Bowl with him at center.
True.
You know what I mean? And he was an all-pro. So
yeah, I think he's banged up, and I think that
100% he's banged up. I was shocked he even played today, with how late in the week that he, was deemed I think he was deemed playable today. So it'll be interesting to see though, because Eddie Lampkin seems to be ready, right? They didn't pull him off of IL yet, but he seems to be ready. He's a combo. He's a guard center also. It'll be interesting to see if they do any moves similar to what's being suggested. Maybe Lampkin slides in for Steen at guard, or maybe they just move same thing like that, put Lampkin at center or Toth at center and move him over. But, Toth had a big penalty today too. He was the one that got called for that formation penalty on the Goddard play.
Dude, it's a contagious thing.
And
right?
So,
it's a chemistry thing. I mean, the starters have played together all of one game or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really just it's no chemistry up there. You don't know who's playing game in, game out. It seems like, and it just they haven't been able to put it together because of that, and sort of grow together throughout a season.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem what we're looking at when we talk about the Eagles offense. And I think everybody else, you could watch a ton of film and you could try to sit here and elaborate more. But I think you're just wasting your time, really, because it's that simple. It's that simple. So they want to get to the next level. It starts with figuring out a way to be able to run the ball. I mean, I don't know, and try some different things, right? I mean, I know there's loyalty and all this, but this is where you You might have to protect people from themselves. If guys are too hurt to play,
Yeah.
you just might have to do some things. I don't know. But this is not ideal. This is not what we thought coming into this year. Right? We just didn't. We just did not. And this is a big reason, why Mekhi Becton should have been brought back. Especially we were losing the coordinator. How many offensive linemen can you bring back?
He's not playing well either.
Well, he's not playing well there, but he's played great here. Yeah, I'm not saying he would have been played great here. Sometimes you just have a bad year, and this is what we're up against. I think it's mainly because of injuries. But this is beyond bad, Craig. This isn't just a bad year. This is one of the worst offensive lines in football.
It is. It's playing like it is. Yes. And I think I finally think the long seasons are catching up to this offensive line, right? The long seasons of, going to a Super Bowl, going to the playoffs, back to a Super Bowl. And that's no excuse, right? They're all professionals. You got to get through it. But, every once in a while, like you said, you run into these years. And it's so funny. Like we sit, going into any year, you sit there and you're like, oh, you win a Super Bowl, you can do whatever you want for the next 2-3 years. Well, that's out the window anymore. Right?
Yeah.
The expectation of, hey, just get to a Super Bowl, just get to the playoffs, win a Super Bowl here or there is just completely out with the expectations of what we think this team should have done. And I'm not saying that's any fault of anybody, right? Like we expected this team to be the best team in football. And I'm not saying they're not playing like it right now, but they still record-wise are, right? But that's the expectations of what this team has built and the expectation that this team coming into the year, we thought they were going to be, right? There was no, hey, just get back to the playoffs. No, we expected, and the team expected to continue to win at a high clip and continue to push for championships year in and year out. And now you're up against it, right? Now you're up against your own expectations and your own feeling of what expectations inside the building.
Yeah, Jason, I agree with this one. As soon as Eugene went to the outside, Dallas went right after him. And we talked about this, right? That sometimes that's not the smartest thing to do is go move your best nickel guy to the outside. And they did it today, and I think it got exposed, to be honest with you.
Well, they had to, right?
You can have to do it all you want. I'm just making a point back there. Sometimes you don't change what's not broken. Don't fix what's not broken. And this is a situation where he's the best slot guy in football. You want to I want to leave him in the slot, but I also hear you. I'm just saying today on the outside was a little bit of an exposure day.
1,000%.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not like crushing the kid. I love him. He's awesome. But when you don't play out there all the time, that's an adjustment. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's an adjustment. And as much as I want to shit on the defense, how am I shitting on the defense that got a fumble given to Dallas at their own 15-yard line?
Yeah.
And they did not score. Not even a point.
No
So
points.
how do I shit on the defense? Or a defense that had him on the 5-yard line and picked the ball off, right? Like the defense did everything you need a defense to do.
Yeah.
When it comes down to why you lost this football game, I in today's world, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I need Jake Elliott to make a 56-yard field goal in a dome. I hate it. I'm not blaming him. I'm not putting it on Jake, but I need you to make that one.
That's got to be it.
Yeah, I need it. I need it. But again, not fully on you, but need it. And then again, the turnovers, and the amount of penalties.
Yep.
The amount of penalties. I mean, that Dallas Goedert one right there, that's the ball game.
Yep.
That's a 30-yard play. You're in their zone. You're down there.
At least 3 points, right?
At least 3 points because you're at they're 30. Yeah, you're 30, and the whole thing gets blown up because now you're 10 yards back from where you were, and you're at your own 35. It's such a momentum killer, and they got to figure out a way to stop it because it's not something that just started. It is not. So if we're gonna come in here and make fucking excuses for the Eagles tonight, it's not something that just started. I'm the biggest glass half full guy. I'm the biggest common sense guy. I feel like when it comes to sports, where I just gotta keep it basic and not get too much in my feelings anymore. But this is offensive football are just huge letdowns.
Yeah.
Huge letdowns. And I am blaming a little bit on Saquon too. Right? Like, yeah, it's on the offensive line, but I see a lot of dancing.
Yeah.
At different times too. So I think it's a combo. I think he's missing holes. I think they're not helping it. Again, it takes two to tango. Right? To have his numbers. I mean, I could have paid a 7th round pick. I could have had an undrafted rookie do that.
Right.
For less money, and I could invest that money into somewhere else.
Yeah.
Martian, no, I don't feel that. I don't feel that because they're going to win Friday.
No, because and the schedule was cake at the end of the year here.
Like you're going to get 2 wins versus Washington.
The schedule's cake. You might lose 1 game, maybe Buffalo.
You know, cake. I mean, Chicago's a really good team coming in.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy into it, Craig. But records say what you are.
I hear you. No, they're good.
They're good.
I don't. Yeah.
It's a good team coming in. I'm not saying we shouldn't beat them. I'm not telling you any of that. I'm not telling you they're a year early. I'm just telling you they're a good team in today's NFL. Right? And what the NFC is, they're a good football team. They're find ways to win games, etc.
They're finding ways. Right? I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'm not
1-score games. Cincy, Giants, Vikings, Pittsburgh.
Say it again.
They have 1-score wins. They're wins 4 in a row. They have 1-score wins. Their last 4 at Cincy, home versus Giants, at Minnesota, home versus Pittsburgh. All 1-score games. Their other wins: Dallas, at Vegas, at Commanders, Saints.
Okay.
So they're beating teams they should if they want to. If they're want to be 8-3 and win the Central or the NFC North or whatever they call it, but we should have our way with them.
Yeah, I'm not going to go say we should have our way with anybody right now.
If we can't run the football like we've been talking about, if our offensive line,
this is where I'm not. I feel like we're a damn good football team. I think we're one of the best teams in the NFC. Okay, a top 3 team in the NFC, a team you should worry about in the NFC. But I'm going to be honest with you, this defense to me is awesome. But if you can't run the football, all bets are off.
Thanks.
All bets are off. And I don't know where they make up for the run game. Right? Because, today ran a little bit more with Jalen. A little bit more.
Yeah.
And maybe that will start to pay off as the season wraps up a little bit, but they got to figure it out.
And that was only 7 times.
Yeah, and they got to figure it out.
And really, you know what's funny with that, Tommy? He ran more designed and didn't run at all undesigned.
Yeah, which is strange. And he can't. And the one blame I do have on Jalen, if there's one major blame I have on Jalen tonight, you can't take that sack on 32.
No, 100%.
It can't happen. You had time. You had time to escape up the middle.
You had all day to either throw it or get out.
Or just run it. Just run up the middle.
Just
dive. Out. Just go dive forward. Right? Because it's a situation you can go for it. If it's on 4th and 1, you guys are going for it.
Yeah.
So, that's what drives that one was on him. But again, I'm not going to put this all on Jalen. This is when you have that many penalties.
I don't think outside of that play, I don't think Jalen played bad. I don't know where this whole Jalen played bad today is at. I understand people want to hate him, you know what I mean, and want to blame him, but I don't know where Jalen played bad today is in the cards.
Well, Bill, I can't blame them for 3rd and 2 passing. This running game has been goddamn atrocious, Bill, and you want to blame them for a 3rd and 2 for fucking punting? For throwing? I can't blame that. Goodness gracious, we watching the same rushing attack? I don't care what quarterback in the history of football that you want to go and talk to for the history of the world. Guys in freaking Canton. Sorry, not Cooperstown. Guys in Canton. Guys up in Canton that will tell you they need a running game too. All right, Troy Aikman, a lot of great ball games. Right? In Canton, go Jacket guy. Right? Need a running game. They all do. Montana had some good backs too. Right? We forget Brady had good backs there in New England. And if they weren't great backs, they ran the ball, even if they weren't big name backs. They ran the ball well, like anybody. And for I love the Cowboy roaches too, like Jesse to come on in here, right? Like
Jesse in years.
Like, oh, Saquon can't bail out Jalen, dude. How many years did Cowboys fans bitch and moan because they had no running game and it was all on Dak and he can't win games by himself? No shit, because none of them can. I mean, running backs aren't important until they're important. The running game isn't important until it becomes evidently important. That if you can't run the ball, this doesn't need to be the number one rushing offensive football. This just needs to be a top 10 rushing attack. You need to be good enough. You need to be good enough with the amount of money you're spending on it. Stalin U's not the same. And there was a highway built for Jalen to run. For Jalen to run. He's looking at AJ because this is what happens. This is what happens when all these reports come out. And all this stuff comes out. You start eyeing the guy maybe sometimes too much, where you take away from this being you, right? But this isn't the AJ Jalen reasons on why the Eagles lost this football game today. This is 14 penalties, and I want to say 10 of them came in the second half. You can't. That leaves teams in games. Leaves teams in games.
Yeah, you can make the case last week that Jalen, forced it to AJ, but that wasn't the point. That wasn't this week. He didn't force anything. Everything was open to AJ.
Everything was in rhythm to him, to be honest
with
you. Yeah, anything forced. I mean, you can make cases you're forcing a guy. Well, you should force feed number one wide receivers. Now, not to the point where you get yourself locked in on them too much. Now, that specific one Bill's talking about, he was looking his way, and then he got caught. But again, I don't want you looking to run right away, but I want Jalen to be Jalen. I want Jalen to be the reason I want Jalen to be Jalen because Jalen's the reason we've gone to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, right? And hoping to go to 3 and 4, right? Because because of Jalen just being Jalen. Like I don't need the stat pads. I don't need the glitz and glamour show. And it's not what we care about anymore. That's not what I thought we cared about. But they got to run the football. It's like, holy shit. I think that if I had $1 for every time I said that in 27 minutes, wow, 27 and a half minutes, I'd be able to retire from a lot of things because that's what it is. It's you don't set up anything, man. And then that's how you blow a 21-point lead. You can't run the ball ever. And then like Sweet, we were saying, like the biggest play of the game that nobody really talks about is the Dallas Goedert play that ends up going for like 35 yards and gets called back for illegal shift or motion or right. It was whatever, I mean, one of those types of penalties that took them down into their own to the Cowboys 30. So you're walking away with points in that drive, probably. Okay, that comes all the way back to our 35 or 40. So drive done. You can't. Nobody's overcoming that consistently. That's the problem. Yeah, Patul has problems. And listen, Nick, it's your football team. Your job to be the head of that and clean it up and all that, right? But there's too many of them. There's too many.
I mean, you take away the penalties. I mean, 2 turnovers and a missed field goal in the fourth quarter. That's it. So, and I just got here, so I apologize. But I'm not sure what Bill's talking about. It's 4th and 15 from your own 24. Where would you not? Where are you saying you can't punt with 3 minutes to go? Is that what he said? Did I read that right? I just got here. Right or no? Go back to it. You can't fucking punt the ball with 3 minutes left. Where? I'm assuming he's saying he doesn't like. I know he doesn't like the 3rd and 2 call, all right? Because he's not advocating going for it. He's not advocating going for it on 4th and 14. So
no, he's more saying get me to 4th and 1 or 4th and 2.
Sure.
And he can't take the sack. And I agree with him. And
Absolutely,
I agree with Bill. Can't take the sack there. That's where the game. That's where I blame Jalen. I don't blame Jalen for a lot more because I thought he had a good game. But or a good enough game. I mean, I just thought he had good reads in the second half, and they were getting called back on penalties on different times. I mean,
289 and a touchdown. I mean, AJ Brown, you won't hear a peep from him this week. So he's
happy.
He's fed. He's fed. It's Turkey week. It's Happy Thanksgiving. He
got stuffed.
He's full. He don't even need any fucking pumpkin pie. He don't need any fucking yams or nothing, buddy. He is fucking good. He is
I
fucking
feel like
stuffed.
I'm a video game early. Like, oh, how many can we get him? You know what I mean? Like, we stat pat him in a game. You know, it makes his numbers look better. But yeah, I mean, listen,
that penalty on the Goddard play, that was the first drive of the second half.
Yep.
21-7.
Yep.
It was past the Goddard, pushed out bounds at the Dallas 40 for 20 yards. It was a 20-yard pickup.
Dallas 40,
penalty.
okay.
5-yard penalty, pushed it back to our 40 for illegal formation.
All right, so 40-yard.
I'm saying difference. It's a 40 to 40 though.
Yeah.
The 20, obviously a 20-yard, 25-yard, wiped it out, and then you went incomplete, punt.
No, rightfully so. No, I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't complete some passes, but it makes sense.
In the third quarter, you went.
There's more of those
punt,
drives.
6 plays punt, 3 plays punt.
And there's more of those drives though. There's more of those penalty-stricken drives.
Yeah.
Like again, there was another first down to Dallas that was taken away by Devontae. Then that was a bullshit call. But
the missed field goal drive. You got a 10-yard penalty on Devontae Smith. That was that offensive pass interference.
That's it.
Goddard's out at the Dallas 35.
46-yard field goal. He ain't missing it, right?
And then the play afterwards, you get again. Now this is the start the fourth quarter, right? It's the drive that
you can't miss a 56-yarder anyway. But yeah.
And then you have the false start from AJ. And then incomplete, you had the half pass, you had a 13-yard, 7-yard pass, and then missed field goal. And then you went fumble, punt with your two other plays. Your drives.
Fumble, punt, and then them fumble where you
they had touchdown, punt, downs, field goal.
Yep, and then you withstand the fumble by the punt return. That's why we don't talk about it.
Oh my God!
Because the defense withstands that. Right. And they get off the field there somehow, and Dallas is stupid, and we luck out. But then now you're backed in, right? Now you're backed in. But I can't even blame the defense for this game. Like we talked about. This is.
Listen, how many times are they going to carry it? Dude, how many times are they going to carry it? I mean, whether you're pissed about it, 1 or 2 penalties. I understand your complaints, but I mean, 14 total. That's you shot yourself in the foot.
Egregious.
Yeah, it's awful. So, and you can't turn the football over. You can't field the punt on the 1 fucking yard line. That's it. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
He got bailed out. And he got bailed out somehow.
Yeah,
like that didn't even cost you the game, which is amazing.
No, because they went for it. They went for another guy that should get fired. I mean, he went for it on the 1. The Eagles hadn't scored in a couple quarters, and this guy's opting to go for it on the 1. So yeah, I mean, you totally got bailed out from that. But I mean, listen,
we can't even run the ball on
the defense. Has been there all
year. That's what I said.
Defense has been there all year.
That was my biggest.
They've been there all fucking year, and they'll be there the rest of the year, right? So they're fine. I mean, that's a good offense that you expect to give some points up. Bend don't break. You know what I mean? So, they stripped Ferguson. It happened to go out of bounds. I mean, if that thing kicks back. You know what I mean? We might be talking about a W. You know what I mean? So, again, everything is peaches and cream when you're winning. This offense has been who it's been the whole year. So the defense has bailed them out. They've done enough on offense. We talk about winning is really all that matters. All right. So there's a certain guy in Cleveland that, commented on Tommy a couple of days ago that said that the quarterback position isn't measured on wins and losses. You're an absolute moron. All right. Come on, Joe. I know you don't watch our show, but if Tom Brady won 1 Super Bowl, is he the GOAT? Is he the GOAT? No, he's a regular guy that dated a supermodel. Doesn't even have a supermodel. Right? She's like, who the fuck is this guy? It's a guy with a fucking mullet. Guy with a mullet. Guys with a fucking mullet. Come on, dude. Good looking guy. Yeah, a little bit of a mullet. That's it. I won 7 Super Bowls. That's why he's the GOAT. The fucking course is about winning. Winning. The position is fucking based on winning. Right? That's all Jalen does. So give the guy credit, and he can play. Listen, it's not like he's, some stiff back there. He can play.
Yeah, I feel
he's not gonna, you don't expect him to win a game with his arm, right? And that's why they need to be well balanced. And they're not running.
It just
the
needs to be enough.
They're a shell of them. This running game is a shell of itself from last year, and you don't expect a repeat. You didn't expect a repeat from a 2K, right? But Stoutland didn't just forget how to coach. You know what I mean? And I know Lane's down.
They're
right? But come on,
25th.
They got to be
They're
good enough.
25th.
They can run.
They're
They can
25th
still
in
run the
rush
football.
average.
Yeah, they can still
You
run
can't
the
be
football. Come on.
you can't be 25th in rush average.
Mhm.
It's not about saving Jalen. It's not about it's a rush game being complementary to you being able to throw the football.
Absolutely.
It's got to be
100%.
complimentary. That's not even complimentary. That's downright egregious for the amount of money that's spent in those areas. The running back being one, and then the offensive line. Now, you haven't been on in a couple weeks, and we haven't been on a couple weeks to really talk about it. Now, we've been on Wednesdays, right? And on Wednesdays, I say the same thing. Like, dude, when you rush for that many yards and that many touches, you're going to have a down year the next year. You're just going to. Like every running back in the history of running backs had a down one. Now, to this level, no. But then you add in an offensive line that's played together fully healthy one time. One time. Like, that's not enough. Right? That's not enough time to get a continuity and going. So you add all these things in, and it's why you're not. Look at the other running backs who've gotten touches here. They're averaging 4.5+ yards a carry. Now, I'm not telling you they're better than him.
You only saw one.
Yeah, I'm not telling you that any of those backs are better than Saquon Barkley. No, what I'm saying is this is the perfect time, the perfect year to come into and be smart enough to say, you know what, we gotta have change of paces with him this year.
Yeah.
This year's a change of pace here with him.
There's no reason that, the Eagles weren't down 21-0. So there's no reason for Jalen Hurts to throw the ball 39 times, right? Saquon, it should be the opposite. 21-0.
Oh, back to the same old adage. You
21-0.
25 times.
21-0, Saquon should have 25 carries. Right? I know the average doesn't look cute right there, but you put in his belly, 15 more times. Who the hell knows? I don't know. Right? We'll never know. But there's no reason in a 21-0 game, at one point that Jalen's got 39 attempts. You know what I mean? Come on.
Well, that's why it goes back to, but real quick, you're spot on. But then it's deeper than that. It goes back to the fact that the 14 goddamn penalties, that most of them came in the second half, that drove these drives backwards, right? That forced them into throwing the football more. So then it compounds itself. So one, you can't run the football to begin with. Two, now you're forced to throw the football because these penalties are consistently putting you back 10 yards, 10-yard holding, 10-yard hands in the face, right? And now you're behind the sticks. So now you feel like you have to throw because you can't run. You're spot on, though. It should never be a situation where a great running game or a good running game closes
that game
out 20.
Puts that game away. Puts the game away.
Done.
There's not enough possessions. There's not enough possessions for the Cowboys to rally if you're taking care of the football. All right?
This was said 5,000 times in the first 27 minutes of the show, just for you to know, because we're all on the same page here. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but it's ridiculous that the penalties then dictate you having to throw the ball 10 more times than you want to in the second half. There's the 10 carries. The 10 penalties are the 10 carries, in my opinion. I just common sense it because you're constantly playing behind the sticks. I don't even know how to compare it in baseball terms. It doesn't even matter. What matters is that when you're constantly, you get a first down or you get a good play, and that's a 10-yard penalty coming back, right? And you're constantly playing like that the whole season because they have the entire season. Now, is that on the offensive coordinator, Umberto, or is that on players' focus, right? Is that on discipline? What is that on? I think it's a combination of everybody when you want to talk about those things, but lining up the wrong way is on the player to me and on focus. Okay.
100%.
False starts are always on players to me.
100%.
False starts is on focus, discipline, players. So these aren't like and a hands in the face, which was a borderline one on Fred Johnson because he was with the chin, but still the neck goes up, it's going to get called.
Oh,
right?
yeah, he was ready. His head.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like where you get a guy. If you get a guy anywhere in the neck area, it's going to get called because the chin's going to go up, and it's over. It's hands in the face, and the hand's going to slide upwards, and good night. But my point is, you're constantly getting hit with all this shit because it's self-inflicted. That's on the player. That's not on coaching, right? And so I think when you add that in, and I said the only referee issue is the game's 21-7, and they made sure that game got to 21-14. That's my biggest issue with the officiating today, and around the whole league too, because you can watch it happen around the whole league. Is they wanted that game to be closer, so they freaking. The Cooper DeJean PI is a joke. That's a PI on that's my only complaint of the day. That's a CD PI. He's literally hands in the face. We just talked about hands in the face. He stiff armed his face mask before the ball got there. Now you can talk about arm fighting, then it's a no call. Then don't call the PI on him when he's the one getting stiff armed, like the guy's running with the football. So this is where you can sniff out that they might want it to shift a little bit, but again, it's not why you lost the football game. I hate NFL referees.
Yeah, and that's what I say. And that's why I think it. And that's what I said to you earlier. I mean, it evens out. It evens out. Excuse me. It doesn't feel good. It sucks. Nobody wants to get fucking railroaded. But last week we don't know how last week ended. Well, we don't know how last week would have ended.
Yeah.
Right? If that guy doesn't throw a flag, I mean, there's a minute 45 last week. Now, defense was dominant. Goff stinks. I think we know the outcome. You know what I mean? But they got the football back. All right, so it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's just players play, coaches coach. Referees are going to do their thing, and you try to overcome it. You know what I mean? You kind of got to break early in the game on the roughing the punt too. So
yeah, but that's a challengeable call though. So if
again, I'm not bailing out Stoudemire. Stoudemire's a fucking moron. We already know, well documented. It's not he got a job because of daddy. But 9 officials got to talk about that.
The second guy should have got. Real quick. The second guy should have got then roughing the punter. The second guy hands in the face. It was hands in the face and a slam down. So I wasn't even the first guy. I didn't think it was going to get called on. I thought it was getting called on the second guy because it actually was. By definition of the law, if we're going to get technical here, it's like the NBA. It's like the NBA. Be careful. Be careful if you go to replay in the NBA.
Well, that guy, he hit the plant leg. That guy hit the plant leg. So I'm no problem with the initial call. I don't have a problem with the initial call but I see it in Williamstown. I can see that it was deflected in Williamstown. I don't know.
Well, you heard the crowd sort of told you to me that a little tip, a little piece, but.
And I was wondering if it was too. So good information by Waffles over there too. Because I said to myself, I was wondering if, I didn't think they were as bad as MLB, where you can't challenge, a ball before the bag and certain things and blah blah blah. So I didn't know what the reason was on that.
At least according to Captain Dean Blondino, they could have challenged that. And
I wish it was like an NBA challenge, though. Like if you go challenge it, be careful what you challenge. Because you might find something else. That's what I said. The other guy got that should have been roughing the punter on him anyway, because he went hands straight to the face and forcible contact to the ground when that punt's already off and he's in a vulnerable position, right? And that's sort of roughing the punter is. Correct or no?
When the guy got up, you mean?
No. Like when the punter, after the first guy made contact and he spun off, the second guy, if you guys the second guy slammed.
That was the punter that he touched, is what you're saying.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So I'm like, if the first guy isn't a penalty, the second guy's is little contact to the head or neck area is my point. That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
So if it's the NBA, maybe that's why they didn't review it, because they're like, well, they're going to get this part of it, right? Yeah. Maybe they missed the first part, but the second part they would have got. I don't know. But either way, this isn't an official. This isn't an official-driven game. You know what I mean?
To that broader point, though, Tommy, you heard the shift in the broadcast too once the Cowboys started coming back. Right, the first half of the broadcast, every time they came back from a commercial, it was they zoomed in to find the tip. Right, they zoomed in to find the tip, and then when they had the false start with Dallas at the goal line, they came back from commercial with, I think the Eagles were trying to draw them off sides. And it just felt like early in the broadcast, anything the Eagles did, they had a reason why it was against the Cowboys, right? Like it was screw the Cowboys. And then they came back, and Fox and Brian Anderson, I think he creamed when on that long pass to Pickens there at the end. I think he creamed himself.
The national media is driven to like them for some reason. But yeah, I mean, they made excuses for them early. They're coming off a Monday night win. Like, so did we. Like, we came off a Monday night win, then went and played a Sunday night game and won that. Right? So, like, nobody was crowning us last Sunday for, this is a short week for the Eagles. I didn't hear it one time on the broadcast. I don't know if I heard it one time, and I'm not asking for it. But I love how Cowboys, like the 4-5-1 team, the 4-5-1 team is getting excuses. Like, like, knock it off. The team that traded their best player a game into the season. That team's getting excuses. Okay.
They're getting bailed out.
Yeah, got it, guys. But yeah, we just have to close. It's a closeout game. It's an inexcusable loss. You know, I didn't yell and scream like that kind of stuff early, but it is. I mean, at 8-3, I don't want to come flipping out too much. But like I said to Lena, I said losses really don't bother me anymore as much as we haven't lost a lot. But when it does happen, they usually don't bother me. It's an ebb and flow league. It happens, right?
I mean, listen,
But this one's a piss off loss.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
of who it's against, who it's against, and how it happened. How it happened matters. Context matters though. Like if you lose this game 24-21, but you're down 21-0, right?
Sure.
Context matters.
Absolutely. It happened. 21-point lead.
When you've only blown 21 points, when you've only lost 4 times in history, 4 times in Eagles history.
It feels like it counts like 3 losses. Yeah. So 21-0 against the Cowboys, it feels like it should count as 3 losses. So that's part of it's in the blender. 21-0 lead against the Cowboys, that's in the blender, and the fact that this offense hasn't looked right all year. So 8-3, defense is elite. You feel that you don't feel that great about yourself. From an offensive standpoint, and so you're going to have, but around the league, you look at it around the league, obviously the Lions went to overtime, it feels like every team, Bills lose on Thursday night, so it feels like it happens everywhere but Philly, so, you don't step back and say, oh, well, we were due for one, you don't want to do that, but you also say, listen, it happens everywhere. Just doesn't seem to happen here. So you feel like you're a little bit spoiled. In that sense, because winning's hard, so you see people stubbing their toe all the time, but
I don't want to get a scheduled loss up there.
Like you said, how I like, what you said was spot on. The context makes it more than a scheduled loss in my eyes. You know what I mean? Because they can't run the football. They don't look. They don't look good. They don't look in sync. Obviously, the penalties were horrible, but and everybody's wants to throw Patullo off the Ben Franklin Bridge, and I understand that, but it's like somebody in that building has to get on the same page. You know what I mean? Like, Nick's an offensive guy. I don't know. I don't know how. They have meetings every Sunday. They talk about it. Yeah, they talked about having meetings. Well, I know. I'm just saying, like, by trade he is. It's the same thing.
I got his job, right? You know what I mean? Like,
I think by trade he is. I mean, it was he showed up with his plumbing kit to fix my toilet. I mean, I don't know if he's qualified. I don't know if he's qualified or not. He brought a fucking plunger. What I mean? But I know what you're saying. But listen, something's amiss on the offensive side. So the easiest thing to do is point at the offensive coordinator every year when something happens, and I feel like I've always said players play. I understand this football is different than other sports because it's scheme on scheme. It's a scheme league. I get it. It's X's and O's. I get it, but at the end of the day, find a way to make plays, man. I don't know. We always talk about run blocking is what these guys want. So you don't have Lane Johnson. I get it. The other guys are all capable. Stoutland's he didn't forget how to coach. So that's what you like to do is run block. So get your hands on somebody, and you don't have to be Lane Johnson. You don't have to be running for 9 yards a clip like you did last year. All right, but you could run the football. There's no reason Saquon can't run the ball for 60, 70 yards a game.
Yeah, look at this guy. And this guy's wearing a full uni. Brian Washington. Nobody's crying about the refs, Brian. So, I mean, real quick, just to be clear, not one time was there a cry about the refs. I'm saying that when I brought up the refs, I say around the entire league. And if you couldn't see that was a scheduled, let's get the Cowboys down to the 5, or down to the 10 on that one drive, then you just don't watch the league enough. That's all. If you think that's just because it's Eagles get those same things sometimes. Right. So if you think that's just what I was saying, then get a clue. All right. And enjoy not making the playoffs again. And Mike Parker, different Mike Parker, but another Mike Parker. It falls on the head coach. Dude can't call plays, so offense has a new play caller every single year. But I can't agree with that. I mean,
there's the overreaction.
Yeah, like what does that mean? Like that's not why we have a new coordinator. We have a new coordinator because these guys either get fired or they get hired, right? Sykin got hired. Okay,
Everybody gets hired on.
Yeah, so I mean, another guy.
Yeah, so sorry.
No, when you're good and you win the Super Bowl, everybody covets your guys. You know what I mean? So
that's what I was going to say.
Whether they're going to be good head coaches or not, Sykin's turned out to be a good one. But who knows? That's the nature of the beast.
Somebody said earlier, no more new offensive coordinators. Sorry, well, we can't control that when we're good. And you get the bottom of the barrel when you get to the Super Bowl because you don't have time to hire anybody. It's just the way that works. And we're not firing Patuo. I'm sorry to tell you.
Tucker, can you just break one, please? Rams, can you take a playoff?
No, and you can't. You're not just going to fire him this part of the season. I don't think that's the right decision either. But it doesn't mean you can't collaborate.
But you can't. But you doesn't mean. But 100%. But doesn't mean you can't take it away from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, we're not using.
I'm saying you can't change things up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not using Captain Fourth Down as an example. You know what I mean? But you can do it. You can strip the play calling, and you can still be in the building, and he can still be an integral part if you air quote one of your offensive scheme and in your meetings and stuff. But you can definitely take the play calling away. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, you absolutely can, or you can mix it up, right? And that's where I get annoyed is like, you struggle like that in the third quarter, like go somebody else take it over.
Yeah.
Right? Like go jump in there, Nick. You know what I mean? Go jump in there for a drive. Go jump in there for a series, whatever it may be.
They've never done that. No one ever does that mid-game.
They should.
I know they potentially should, but no one ever does that.
I mean, I can't say nobody. Yeah, I mean, Andy used to. Andy used to talk about like taking it over for a series and giving it back. So I don't know. I mean, maybe nobody does do it, but I always thought.
I feel like he always called plays. No, I mean, I feel like he's had that menu since fucking 1990. No.
Well, he didn't call it at one point with what's his face in Kansas City. I forget who it was.
Okay, Bieniemy.
It might have been that.
Nagy.
I think he gave all of his guys, Peterson, Nagy, Bieniemy. I think he gave them to your point, right? But I don't think I think those were all designed. It wasn't like, hey, this isn't working, I'm going to take it from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I know it was designed, but it was designed like, hey, you guys call the first quarter, we'll call the third quarter, and then nobody on the other side can get in a rhythm on the play caller. Right. I've always thought that would be a good idea. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm Nick Sirianni and I'm an offensive mind, it's like, give me one quarter every game. We'll never keep it the same. Just give me a quarter every game.
Yeah. True.
Right? Unless we're lighting the lamp, like nonstop. Give me a quarter every game. Because now the other side's got it's gonna be a different. I don't know. I just feel like these guys can become predictable.
Yeah. Well, it always goes back to our missionary statement. You know what I mean? Like we joke about it and we say, hey, you got to flip your wife over, but we truly mean that. You know what I mean? Like it's like there's no reason that you can't be superstitious about it. No, but I'm saying like in baseball. I'm saying in baseball. I
was like, oh, that's a mission statement. HBD. We flip her over.
Oh yeah, I mean, put it on a t-shirt.
Change it.
Put it on a t-shirt. I mean,
flip her around.
Put it on a t-shirt. I mean, absolutely. But it goes to this league. They retreads. This league's full of retreads, and guys never go hungry in this league. As coaches, the tree is plentiful.
Yeah.
So, they're just afraid to rock the boat sometimes. You know what I mean? Unless it's going to save them. So these guys won't rock the boat unless the guy says, "Hey, buddy boy, it's you or him." All right, and then that's when you see the guy cut the guy's head off. All right, the machete comes out when if Laurie said, "Hey, Nicky boy, it's you or Kev." You'd see Kev's head right there in the mailbox, right, in Haddonfield. Right? Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Real simple.
Facts there.
Yeah, but they had the ninth most rush attempts in the league, right? But again, rush average 25th. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. They tried to run it.
That's heart garbage.
Yeah, they tried to run it, but they just can't. It's just so weird. I didn't have that on my bingo card for this year.
No, because the offensive line literally went from like best in football, best maybe of all time, to one of the worst.
Yeah, it's hard, Jay. It's hard having big time players everywhere on offense and getting shut out in halves. Sickening. It really is hard to do. It's the penalty.
And realistically, 2.5 quarters, because that touchdown in the second quarter was early.
Well, it's the penalties. It's the penalties, and then bad drive or penalties, right? That get you off the field, and then you get out of rhythm and you get out of sync, and then you go have another bad drive, right? And then it compounds. It's like it's contagious as hitting is in baseball. It's the same as drives are in football or runs in the NBA, right? You can sort of smell when a team's on a run, right? The same thing happens in all sports. Like it goes through waves. Games go through waves of ups and downs, right? And can you withstand the other team's wave, right? Are you able to withstand when it's 21-7? Are you able to go get another score, right? To that point coming out of half, Craig.
Sure.
Right? Are you able to go get a score there 24-7? That game feels over to them now. Right? It's weird. It's weird, right? When it was 21-7 after they missed the field goal, right? Can you go then make it 24-7?
I mean, listen, we talk about it. We basically talk about it in basketball a lot because how the NBA is, but it really is all sports. Unless you shut down offensively, there's no such thing as a rally. Right? No. A team and can't, the NBA, we all say it. I'm not making fun of anybody in here, but it's the NBA. Everybody goes on a run. You can't go on a 25-0 run, or you can't make up 22 points in the NBA unless you take a shit on offense, right? Because 1 or 2 layups, couple free throws, and bye-bye. All right, bye-bye rally. That's it. The only way to get, the only way to come back from a hole is to do nothing offensively. So you come back from 21 down because, to your point, you didn't score anything. You extend that to 27. That's it. It's over.
That's it.
There's just not enough possessions. There's not enough possessions.
We saw it at the end of the Giants-Lions game. If the Giants kick a field goal there and go up 6, the Lions don't tie that game. And if they do, they win by 1. But you got to make them score that touchdown. Same thing. But and that's something we've talked about too with this Eagles team is, and I think Noah brought it up on Wednesday as well. Like we're so boom or bust. We're either 6, 7, 8 play touchdown drive or 3 and out, right? There's none of those drives that get you field goals anymore. There's none of those sustained drives that just putter, but then you get a, sputter in the red zone. But hey, we added 3 points. We added 3 points. So many times in those drives, like you said, Sweeps, if you can add a field goal, it keeps putting them behind the ball even more. Greg, it's another possession that they got to make up.
Greg, it's not even that. It's that, but it's not even that. It's the Eagles' drive. It's that 6, 7, 8 minute drive that might even come with points. My point today is if you just had a drive, you could have drove it down to their 10 and thrown a goddamn pick. You understand? Where you take 6, 7 minutes off the clock, you win today. Right. At some point in the second half, if you just have a monster drive that comes away with nothing, like Nick could have got in his own way and went for it from 4th and 5 from the 5, right?
Yeah,
and it got nothing. And they went.
Imagine having
they haven't had one all year, Sweet. They have not had that drive. And they have 8 wins. They have 8 wins somehow without that drive.
And the numbers don't lie. But imagine having a 21-0 lead and the time of possession. I know I didn't mean that to be a smartass.
No, I know where you're going with
this. The time of possession is equal. It's equal.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Batman.
That's hard to do.
That's hard to do.
It's hard to do.
Wow.
You gift wrap today. And you showed today was good for me personally as a fan and then coming on here every week because I've really been trying to dissect what their biggest problem was. And I guess part of me just didn't want to maybe admit that it was a running game and the penalties. But I think today, finally, at least me, now I can go when these idiots want to talk about, it's Joe and it's AJ, it's the passing game. Well, now I can actually go to these people and be like, you guys are actually incredibly wrong. Like, you guys couldn't be more wrong. Like, today showed when you lose a game like this, the way they lost it, it showed what really the glaring weaknesses are. Because when you can't run it, nothing else works consistently. drives aren't sustained. Like drives aren't sustained. They're just not. It's not even predictability at this point. Like he either dances too much or guys are blowing up 3 yards in the backfield. So it's been stout in community college this year. It's definitely not university.
Lost the
Lost some credits.
The accreditation. Something, I don't know.
Hey, lost 32 credits here. But love the guy, but you can't. It's not him. I mean, he doesn't play, right? I mean, these guys, like I said, the inconsistency, the rotating door of who plays each week, right? The amount of different rotations you've had play next to each other, all those equal to not being able to run the ball. Now, if you could just run the ball, instead of I think Saquon's at 3.7 yards a carry, 3.7 yards a carry. If he was just at 4 yards a carry, if Saquon was just at 4 yards a carry, with bare minimum, right? Bare minimum, this running game just looks better. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, Eddie, no points in the final 41 minutes. I just don't know how you do that. But now I do know how you do that. When you can't run it and you're constantly getting costly penalties, this is why. And if you're just joining us, the big play is coming out of half. Dallas Goedert to 20-yard reception takes us into their 40. We were at our 4. We're at whatever. Long story short, the penalty takes us back to our 40. Okay. Now you're playing behind the sticks. That's a chance to go up 24-7, coming out of half. You're feeling better about yourself, minimum 24-7. And that drive stalls. And now it's 21-14. Right. And there's a little difference of a football game right there on a costly penalty because you're not lined up right. Right? The little shit.
Yeah.
Little shit. You're not lined up right and you blow a good play call. That's where it's like, how do I put that play call on Patua? It's a good play call. The Devontae Smith. Now, Devontae Smith one's egregious because that wasn't a penalty on Devontae. But even that, like that penalty, how do I put that on Patua? That's a good play call. Dallas Goedert's wide open. So, how do I put a Saquon fumble on Patua?
Yeah.
I mean, Saquon's had a couple opportunities. And he fell down today.
Well, that's a drive where you're definitely getting points. You know what I mean? Like, if he doesn't put that on the carpet, you should, you're most likely getting 3 there. You know what I mean? So that's a huge turnover. It's his first fumble, and he's human, right? But like I said, I think today was the perfect storm of horseshit. You know what I mean? Like, it really was. Whether you can throw it all in the blender.
Yeah.
Coaching, running game, penalties, referees, turnovers, decisions. You know what I mean? It's the giant blender for a loss. That's a giant loss, and that's giant blender that leads to a loss. You know what I mean? So, and that's so we'll see how they respond on a short week. It's a good beer. It's a good Bears team. You know what I mean? I'm not crowning them. I'm saying it's or saying they're going to the Super Bowl or anything like that. But obviously Ben's made a difference, and this is a pretty good team. But get back home, and we'll see what happens.
I said that to Greg earlier. It's a good football team coming in.
Yeah.
They're much improved. So it's a good test to show your response is my point of it. And you come home and you take care of business at home on a short week. You give yourself a little breather here, and maybe you can clean some stuff up on another little extended rest. But
yeah, it was just, like I said, it was just
a monster. It's a monster game.
Oh,
it's
sure.
a monster game.
It was just
that game. Like, I don't like to say must win, but this is must win talk to me.
Like it was just like I said, there were so many plays. It was just a comedy of errors. You know what I mean? Like on the Pickens play, Alcatraz Island got hit by his own guy. You know what I mean? Like he got picked by his own guy.
Yeah. So what happens if he doesn't? Right? I mean, he might still be caught, but maybe he's not running.
Yeah.
But no, to me, I hate saying must wins when you're 8-3, right? Because they're going to be a playoff team regardless, in my opinion. But this is a must. This is a must win to me. Just to show for all the 2023 people out there that are like, oh, this is 2023 all over again. Here we go, right? Like, hey, we're gonna crumble after a 10-1 start. That's what I need to win at. Just to hush that up, right? Just so it doesn't turn into collapse, right? Because wins cure. Even though the media doesn't want to let it cure, it cures. So there's nothing
100%.
better. There's
That's
nothing
all.
better.
That's
better
all.
than
That's all they've done, and with this tenure. You know what I mean? That's all they've done. So that's all they know how to do.
And he's got to get back to that on Friday.
Eagles are -7. In case you guys didn't talk about.
Wow, they're -7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to give an early score prediction right here. Then, if they're -7, I'm going to go. I'm going to go 31. I'm going to go 31-17 Eagles. Then, if they're -7. If they're -7, that's a ton to me. I mean, I don't know what they know, right? I mean,
they just know that they haven't really. I mean, they have wins, right? But they haven't beaten anybody.
No, 7's just a lot when you're 8-3 as well. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah,
we get the same record. They're coming in here, but yeah, all right. I mean, I'm down. I love it. I love the 7, and maybe it's telling, maybe it's not, but maybe we could actually go roll somebody. I don't even care. I mean, I'll take a 24-21 win, right? But would have taken a 24-21 win today as well.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm an easy guy to please. Ask her about it. Yeah, ask her about it. Very, very easy guy to please over here. So just win, baby. Just win. But it would be nice to just go beat somebody up, though, right? It would be. I thought we were getting that today, and I was excited by it. I was like, this is good. This is what we need. This is what we've been waiting for, right? That first quarter is like everything Jalen does when people hate on him, but then it stopped, right? And it can't stop.
It can't stop. Nope.
It can't stop. Won't stop.
Can't stop. Won't stop.
So I'm going to say, I'm going to already go out on a little early prediction, 31-17. Because I think it's just the defense also translates to cold weather games. And what they do. And
they're going to turn it over. Sure.
And I think you need it because you really, the way you play at the link and you don't want to travel in the postseason, you'd rather keep everything here.
Yep.
Right. I mean, the one place I will go is LA because we've always played well there. Right. So it's not a place that we've had House of Horrors at or anything like that. So I don't mind going there. But preferably I would like everything to run through Philadelphia. So let's find a way for that. And that starts with Friday afternoon. Because you get that win, I think you're in good shape. You get that Bills game is the big game after the big game that in that whole mix that is a game you might not be favored in. Yeah. Right. The rest of them you're gonna be favored in every one of them.
Jiffy Lube. SJM. Good to see you, buddy.
The pinstripe ball, actually, SJM. The pinstripe ball. Potentially against Pitt.
At Yankee Stadium. Against who?
Oh, yeah, it's Pitt, potentially.
There you go.
That's the projection right now. Previous cat, where have you seen that? Chip Kelly to Penn State. No, stop it. I'm just trying not to get Terry Smith to Penn State. Come on.
I still can't believe Aaron Donald retired. I mean,
straight face.
God damn.
Straight face and said, "Yeah, I don't need to do anymore."
It's crazy.
Like no championships.
Absolute monster.
I guess though, when you're that good and get that good at something, you're like, yeah, I don't even need a championship to determine how good I am.
especially at that position, just getting beat up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he got one, right? You meant more.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
He got one. Yeah,
he got one. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about multiples. Yeah, he got
one. No. Why did I blank on that? You're right. Because I was so happy Stafford got one.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Completely missed that.
Well, they're clearly the wagon, right? They're clearly the wagon right now. So, if the Eagles are looking for, to get that chip back on their shoulder, now's the time. because there's your there's your hunter. There's your bullseye right there on Sunday Night Football, in my eyes. I said it earlier. So even before the loss, this is an Eagles-Rams final. If you clean things up and you do what you want to do. So don't have to be scared. You don't have to, it's truly whatever, however you want to feel as a fan. But they're pretty damn good.
Yeah, they're good. It came down to one play last year.
Yeah, well, it took a tremendous play this year.
Well, 2 years in a row, 2 great plays.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I mean, and I'm not scared of them because we beat them twice. I'm not scared of them until they have the lead and there's a minute left and we get the ball back. Right then that's when I'm officially scared. Right? Like, I'm not scared of anybody until they got a lead on us, and I'm like, we're gonna lose this game. Which again, they're a really good team. We know what Matty is. So, but I mean, again, it starts with us not going and losing 2 in a row and just getting
a lot of football left.
Get back in the winning ways and find a way to win a game Friday.
Yep, short week. Back in the lab tomorrow.
Jalen also said we weren't going to lose another game too. So shit happens and things change, right? But you can't give up 24 unanswered points in a football game ever. So we're going to find out Friday, and why I call it a must win is how, what is the 2025 Eagles? Are they as resilient as the 2024 Eagles? Right? Or are they more in between 2024 and 2023? Right? Where they're resilient, but they're not as resilient. Right? They're not going to go lose 5 in a row. Right? Makes sense, but
yeah,
they could go lose 2 in a row. Right? But we've seen these responses from them. I mean, this is a football team that's beaten pretty good football team there is. I mean, they beat Kansas City at Arrowhead. They beat Tampa when Tampa was fully healthy in Tampa. Right? They beat the Lions. They beat the Packers.
There's nothing hollow about this team. So I mean,
they got wins for days
from an outsider. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think, people like to, there's a lot of peacocking going, and listen, you should have confidence and you should have swagger because, it's all they do is win. All right. So there's nothing wrong with that, bravado, and that, it's what makes you great. You know what I mean? So, some people are a little, worse about it than others. All right. But, make no mistake about it. This is a tremendous organization, and this is still a tremendous team with a ton of weapons and an elite defense. So, if you want to throw dirt on them, go ahead. You know what I mean? Like, today's unacceptable. Today's embarrassing. All right. But the sun will come up tomorrow, unless you live in Seattle. And, get back at it.
Or here some weeks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Either or. But yeah, I mean, it'll be up, and you're right. They're good. So it's just about them responding next week. It's about them, putting together 4 quarters again, which doesn't even mean you got to score all 4 quarters or anything like that. But just go play 4 good quarters of football and get out with a win, right? And get to 9-3 and sort of be able to dictate where you stand in the NFC by the end of it, right? If you want that 1 seed's important, and at 9-3, you're right. All you are is a Rams loss away, right? To get it because you have the tiebreaker.
Yeah,
and they got Lions left. They got Seattle left.
Yeah, they play good teams. I mean, This was a big one for the Rams tonight.
And really, at the end of the day, that's just for your own psyche, and so you can sleep in your own bed. And everybody wants a home game, so the link can be rocking. But that doesn't affect the Rams. All right, so that doesn't make you scared. Doesn't make you, an underdog. It just means they showed that they can come in here and play well. You know what I mean? So, but they came away with 2 L's. So, they didn't come in here and win, but they came in here and played well.
Well, they might get those wins at home, right? So maybe
that's what I said. Of course, you would rather have a home game.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, it's not maybe not as important with them, when you're playing them.
No, because we play
The
well out
defense
there.
travels for them, and Matt's a veteran, and
our defense travels for us, right? So
a problem. Yeah, of course.
That game can be played anywhere for me. Like, to me, the 1 or 2 seed isn't that important, but the 1 seed is more important because of the first round bye. Less games you got to play, the better, right? So to me, it's not even about, like, if the 1 or 2 seed, like old days, got the buys, I don't care if I have 1 or 2. Just give me one of them. But now that only the number 1 seed gets the buy, that's the killer. That's why you're fighting for it, because it's one less game you can cough up.
Bill,
right?
Bill, you might have went and took a piss, Bill. I said the Rams are a wagon, so I'm an outsider. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean these two guys have to agree or be scared. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I don't know if they're better than us right now anyway, Bill, because we just beat them and it wasn't even that long ago. So I mean, like, yeah,
I think they are, but I don't think it's 1 tier, 2 tier. But I think right now I think they're a better football team. But the Eagles beat them. So at the end of the day, all you can say is, when we played, who won?
Yeah, and we played twice in way less than a year too, Bill. So I mean, I know the way it looks right now. Yeah, like the way it looks right now. Yeah, we beat them 3 times in a row, and the way it looks right now, yeah, they're better. But sometimes you have teams' numbers for whatever reason. So, I hear you. Not a team I want to play. I would love, again, to get the 1 seed so they have 2 opportunities of somebody knocking them out, right? And you getting somebody besides them. That's the whole reason. Just like you would want us to have the number 2 seed, because now we got to play a wild card game and a divisional game. We just don't get the divisional NFC title game. That's a difference maker to me, where you can get the other best team in the conference knocked out earlier. Right? It sort of gives that 1 seed a little bit more of an advantage than ever before, in my opinion. Because the 1 and 2 seed always had an advantage back in the day, right?
Sure.
Or now, only guy who gets an advantage is the 1 seed. I mean, how many 1 seeds have gone to the Super Bowl since they have rolled out the only number 1 seed gets a bye? I'd love to know the percentage of that. It's instant conversation for another day, right? But just a curious cat. I don't know if it plays out better for teams or if it, or if it's been like a 50-50. But I would sure more at least end up in the title game. Only having to get 1 win.
Yeah, sorry.
There's always it's a big difference when you're like, 50-50 chance to win to get to an NFC title game. We won. Okay, 50-50 chance to get to a Super Bowl. Then 50-50 chance to get to a divisional round game. Your 50-50 chances of winning, go less than 50-50 when you play more games. I don't know. Not a math guy. Just, stayed a couple holiday ends. Road tripped. I don't know if anybody's okay, previous cat. I don't know if Ajomu's okay. I don't know if Makuba's okay. I don't know if Reed's okay. Yeah. Not sure if anybody's okay, babe.
Yeah, that second half wasn't good for that either.
Not
only were we a sinking ship defensively and offensively, but we lost a lot of guys on that defense.
Yeah, for sure.
The
Jesse,
1 seed was
we're okay, Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, that's saying the rate, like, you're going to act like the Rams are going to win out too. I'm not saying we're going to win out, but like, assuming like everybody's winning out and like, yeah, listen, I hear you, Jesse. We did let stuff slip away.
I mean, yeah, we definitely let the game go. I'm not doubting that, but.
Well, Jesse, I would have never let CJ out the door, but that's not for me to argue anymore. We're Reed and Makuba playing well, so I'm okay with it. Now they're both hurt. Now Makuba looked worse because Makuba looked like it was an ankle, high ankle sprain.
Kind of got rolled up on a little bit.
Yeah, a little high ankle piece. That's 4 weeks. Now, one positive news out of all day is Lane not going to need surgery on the Liz Frank.
Yes.
So, but I still wasn't expecting to see Lane until whatever first round playoff game it is, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't put Lane back out there for the regular season. If it's me, I just would not. I would not. Unless we become in like desperation mode, must win type stuff, right? Like the last 2 or 3 games, right? But yeah, so that's good news in an ugly day.
Definitely.
But yeah, the injuries definitely piling up for sure. A little bit on the defense side of the football, not ideal in the secondary. Like I said, Coop doesn't look as good playing the outside as he does the inside.
Nope, got a little exposed, and that's
yeah,
okay.
But I think that's an off season. That's where an off season comes in, man. Like like training the play out there, like studying film the play out there. Like it's different, dude. You're covering different. You're covering more boundary. Like you're covering more space. It's weird. We're in a slot. You're covering more space. I feel like, but you're not covering the same routes. Makes sense. It's different route trees being ran from an outside guy to an inside guy. So to me, like again, today's a tough game to talk a lot about because it's 2 damn good wideouts out there. But I still think like it's the guy's the best slot corner in football. You know, it's not ideal having to move him. That's all.
No, it makes you obviously understand why they don't want to move him either.
Yeah.
You know, because you're on the outside, you're going to face more of those one-on-one balls that Pickens just is really good at, right? That Coop might be better at, like you said, Tommy, if you had an all-season train and work getting his head around, right? In the slot, you're not worried about trying to find the ball and play the ball. You're just trying to play the man.
Hold on. I love this. Jesse, I love you, brother. This is the same defense that played in the zone last Super Bowl. I don't know if you guys thought that game was played outdoors somewhere or where exactly you thought that game was played at. But please don't tell me that this defense
there was a hole in the roof.
Isn't the same. Yeah, you know what I mean? Isn't the same in a dome, a hole, a goddamn somebody's backyard. This defense can play anywhere. Now, I think any defense plays better in freezing temperatures. Like every defense ever to play should play better in freezing temperatures because it's hard to play offense in freezing temperatures, right? It's hard to throw the football as well in 25-mile wind gusts than it is in a dome, right? So you get the benefits of, you know, bad weather on the defense side of the football, right? When you're a great defense. But don't tell me great defenses can't travel in the dome and be great too. You know, I don't know. I think if we didn't just shut down Kansas City in a dome for a Super Bowl win, maybe we'd be able to hang our hat on that one.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is we're 8-3, really 3.
I did find it interesting though that it looked like, and again, maybe there was some missed calls, but we didn't get as much pressure on Dak today as we had the last 2 weeks.
Oh, Jalen Phillips wasn't.
Jalen Phillips was not existent today.
No, not as good today.
And so that's part of why Dak was able to throw it all over us because
we didn't get Myles Garrett. You know what I mean? We didn't get Myles Garrett.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean,
he's going to have
no, for sure.
No, it was a good pickup, but like he took plenty of plays off in Miami. As a guy that watches the Dolphins diaper show, you know what I mean? He took plenty of plays off.
Yeah, and I like I said, I just think, and then nobody got really.
No one did. No one got pressure.
But we got pressure early. Obviously going up 21-0, I feel like we were getting pressure. Just not getting home. But definitely a weird day for it. You know, that and the Kobe blitz at the end. I mean, that gets home every time. I mean, talk about a game of inches. There's the inch.
And he just missed it, too.
Yeah, like I said, it's a game of inches. He's an inch away from hitting the arm. That ball goes up in the air, maybe. Who knows? Maybe it doesn't, right? Maybe it just goes right to the ground. But maybe ball goes up, tip drill. Maybe somebody's coming down with it, and the whole game changes. So, again, game of inches. Here we go. So 50%. Oh, the number one seed since the single bye makes the Super Bowl less than 50%. Wow. Morris, thank you, brother. Appreciate the little Google search. Still, I would like my odds less of playing less games, but I hear you. Maybe it just worked well for us the 2 years we had it to get there. You know what I mean? The 2 years we had the 1 seed, we got there. But either way, so I feel like you're stuck on the 30 points. Like I don't need to score 30 points. I got a great fucking defense. Okay, I need to outscore what every other team scores. Like I still stand by this offense is a chameleon if they can run the goddamn football. But all bets are off if they can't. I just think that you're stuck on the 30. I'm stuck on like we don't have to score 30. But I felt like there was more than one game. But maybe it wasn't my main focus, right? It hasn't been my main focus. Like Giants, Giants scored 30 against. They scored 30 against the Rams that are the best team ever. They scored 31 against Tampa. You mentioned the Giants. They scored 28 against Minnesota. Does that count? Is that close enough? I don't know. Like like that, you know what I mean? Like we just act like they can't do anything. Like it just goes against your point. Like, they can't score 30. They scored 33 or 32 against the greatest defense ever assembled in the Los Angeles Rams now. And the unbeatable Rams. Like, come on, Bill. Like, I hate today too. Right? But come on. Like 3 times they have. And the fourth is 28 points if we want to count it. So no, it's not where you would like it to be. Right? No. I mean, the last 3 weeks you need to be better, right? It's 10 points, 16, and 21. Right? The last 3 weeks, not ideal. Not ideal.
But 2-1 in that stretch.
Happy Thanksgiving, Billy.
See you, brother.
Happy Thanksgiving, Bill.
Happy Thanksgiving, bro.
Let them talk shit, dude. They stink. It's a shitty organization. All right. Probably shouldn't hire Doug Peterson. We probably shouldn't do that.
Or Chip Kelly.
Yeah, and I mean, Jesse, yes, it's pretty damn close. I mean, are we really saying that this defense isn't as close to being as good as last year's? I think they've improved that one.
I think Jesse's tying one on tonight.
Yeah,
the only defense, Jesse, the only defense that wasn't good in this regime was the 2023 collapse defense. This is why I don't believe they're a collapse-worthy team. Their defense is too good, in my opinion, for them to collapse. So now, unless they got 5 injuries out there now, and they're not as good, then they can go lose more. Right? You know what I mean? Again, not crowning any of those 3 guys. But if they would have 3 guys in their secondary on Friday, they're probably going to lose that game if Sidney Brown's running around.
Yeah. I mean, he's still buns, so.
Not making excuses. Just saying, like, if this defense is healthy, there's no collapse or healthy-ish. I don't expect bumps and bruises and guys missing games, sure. But I can't have, like, 3 guys in my secondary missing and expect them to be as good. No, I'm not going to be as good. But if I'm close to being as good as I am, there's no collapse in the forecast here. There just isn't. It's impossible, almost. Yeah, unless you average 40 yards a fucking game on the goddamn ground like they are, then maybe there is.
Yeah, I think today is more of an anomaly than it is
what's part?
It is
what's
just
an
the
anomaly?
whole thing, right? I think because offensively, we've all seen it building to this, right? Whether it was tonight, whether it was an egg against the Bears, right? Chargers. I felt like in one of these next 3 weeks, we were giving one up.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel like we were too.
So
got the Chargers game too. It's another tough one.
Yeah,
guys.
But we get that extra rest.
No, I'm just saying another tough game and another away game.
Yeah.
Right, because obviously this team doesn't have any back-to-back home games.
But and it's a dome, so I don't know if we're going to be able to play there.
No, we'll stink there.
It's a dome. We can't play in a dome.
Not sure how the 85 Bears won that Super Bowl in the dome either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's tough to play. Tough for great defenses to travel inside.
Yeah, that was a bizarre statement.
Who's K&N? Nick? Michael, you're talking about firing Nick? Please tell me we're not.
He's obviously not an Eagles fan. He can't be an Eagles fan. Is that an Eagles jersey?
It's a goddamn Eagles cup and jersey. I mean, he's got the accessory.
He's
got the accessory.
He's calling for.
Got an early present. An early present accessory.
Eagles are done. Check market. Rams number one now. Like we don't have eyes. Yep, we saw that. Yep. Are you real quick, Mike? Before we continue the conversation, I just need to know one thing. If you're talking about firing a coach that's going to a Super Bowl twice in 3 years and it won one, okay, I'm gonna just stop the conversation with you. Like if Nick's part of the conversation about firing, now if you want to talk about firing KP, then different conversation, right? But let's not talk about firing Nick. That's crazy talk. It's not even okay.
I mean, I think they said on the broadcast he's top 7 all time in winning percentage in his first 5 years, and we're gonna fire that guy. God hope whoever we get to replace him is better.
Jesse, I think by the acquisitions we've made at the deadline, if you want to go by the stats and not your eyes, if you want to go by the deadline till now, if you want to tell me these defenses aren't similar, then we're not watching the same football team. Okay, we're really not. No, I can't be more clear. Since the deadline, if you think those last year's defense and this defense are very similar, then we're not watching the same team. Like we're seriously not watching the goddamn same team. Like I don't know what else they got to go shut down, babe. Since the deadline, they went and shut down. They literally went to Green Bay, and you can like it, dislike it. You can like the Packers, dislike it. Doesn't matter. And they held them to 7 goddamn points in their building. All right. Then they follow up at home against the Detroit team who love scoring points, and they hold them to 9. All right. And a Dallas team that loves scoring points and held them down the goal line and 2 turnovers down the goal line, essentially, if you count the turnover on downs, and give up 24 points. So, like, tell me how they're not, and Zach Bowen's a pick away from this game being over. Yeah.
Something we haven't talked about all day. Catch the fucking ball.
Yeah, hour 31 in, we left that out. Like,
catch the fucking ball. Hit your right in the hands. You read it perfectly.
Yeah, I'm good with you dropping it on last year's contract.
Yes.
Last year's contract, I'm okay with the drop. The new deal, that's Ray Lewis pick me. Please.
That's gotta be a pick.
I'm paying you
over
that money.
at that point.
Yep, I'm paying that money because that's ball game. So you're right. We left that out this whole show, which is crazy because that's how much other shit happened.
Yeah.
that gets overlooked. So much other slop happened today than an easy pick because, again, there's a reason you're a linebacker and not you weren't put on the offensive side of the ball, right? Because you can't catch. But he's always shown he can catch. So, he's made some great catches, great picks. Maybe you just can't make the one right in his hands.
Yeah, maybe you got to dive for it.
Yeah, everything needs to be a dive. Yeah, the pick, Bill. Yep. Penalties, fumbles. Yeah, so much went wrong. Yeah, so, Michael and the accessory never elaborated on if we're firing Nick. So, but Ryan, KP episode has to go when? Like now? And for what? I just don't know if that's the right time, guys.
I might be on the wrong side of it all with Kevin Patullo, right? But first of all, it's not happening in season. That's what bad organizations do, right? It's not happening now. So can we stop in season? But whatever happens in the offseason, obviously, is going to happen. But would it really be the worst thing if you gave Jalen another year with the same play caller?
No, unless you had.
Would it really be the worst thing?
No, unless you had a home run guy again.
100%.
Right.
As I said, the offseason, whatever can happen. But
I want another
Patullo clan. What are you going to do when he's back next year?
What offensive mind out there got a head coaching job because of them being a great offensive coordinator? That's who I want in here. Like, what guy's getting fired?
There's 2 of them.
Or has been fired. Yep. You know what I mean?
There's 2 of them out there.
All right, who are the 2?
Sweeps his boy is one.
Well, if he gets fired. He might not get fired.
Oh well, that's right. I'm sorry. That's right. He hasn't. I'm so shocked that he hasn't been fired yet. I already count him as fired.
They want to keep winning games.
That guy's never been my guy. If he showed up with adoption papers, I would fucking disown him.
Well, then the other guy is Brian Dable.
Well, Dable I'll take in a second to be a play caller. Sure. No question about it. I want that former head coach, Kellen Moore again.
Doug's another guy.
Doug, I can't do that with because he got
agree with
fired.
you.
He got fired for
don't
Nick
want him.
Sirianni. You know what I'm saying? If he didn't get fired for Nick Sirianni and he got fired for somebody else and then Nick got here, different conversation, right? I can't bring him in, for the guy that
you got fired for.
He's still trying to park in his parking spot. Like, we can't. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Here's a scooter. Hey, Doug, here's a scooter. All right.
Oh man,
trying to park in his fucking spot.
Give you Dable's my guy. If I'm looking for a play caller, that was a great play caller, and that's why I got a head coaching job. But also a guy I think that's good with quarterbacks, right? And a guy who's coached Jalen before. I think you check off all the boxes.
One. He has coached Jalen before.
He has coached Jalen.
Yeah. You just got to be careful, because they'll probably call 56 quarterback draws. So you got to be careful with Dable.
We want that now. We've been begging for it.
Yeah. You got to be. You got to set a limit on it.
We can't run, so we've been begging for a concussion. I mean, we're over here.
I call him Blue Tent Dable. Blue Tent Dable.
It is Blue Tent Dable. But I would. That would be my
with Dable though. There's obviously been reports that he was an issue internally, right?
I mean, that organization's an issue internally. So I mean, I'm not here to blame it on Dable. I think Dable's great with his players. I think Dable cares about his players. I don't think that was ever. I don't think that's ever been a problem with Brian Dable. So I think being the head guy isn't built for everybody, man.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not. And some guys are great at it, and they get lucky. And sometimes better be lucky than good. But he got his quarterback too late. That's the difference. It took too long, and sometimes it takes too long.
Win.
Yeah, when it takes too long,
like you can't lose 4 games in the fourth quarter and expect to keep your job.
No matter what
your leash
definitely got him too late. But
no matter what your leash is,
Dart's probably happy that it happened because he's close to being in the freak. He's got 1 foot in the morgue.
Yeah,
if Dable stayed there any longer, I mean, geez, crack.
Yeah, and what up, Len? And he goes, and I mean, Joe's the issue there. Now he's had some good drafts and he's had some good job free agency recently. If we're going to give any Giants credit here, but he's also had some bad ones too. So, I mean, again, I would take Brian Dable in a heartbeat. If Mike McDaniel was fired, I would take him. I would take him in a heartbeat.
Bill's back.
Yeah, Bill's back. Again, McDaniel, Dable, 2 guys that I think are great play callers. Yeah. I mean, listen, McDaniel gets the most out of Tua. That's saying a lot. Now, again, leader of men is different. When you're the head guy, it's different.
You couldn't mess up the draft. Fucking smells. You're picking in the top 5 every fucking year. So you expect a guy to fucking make a pick or 2. Pretty good.
Cockroach coming out.
Yeah, he'll always come out after the Eagles lose. You'll never see him. The 3 times we saw him this year are after losses. So it's how he operates.
What up, Leonard?
Lenny, my guy, what up?
What up, Len? Miss you, babe. And listen, we just got to get back to it Friday. That's it. I mean, Friday's a must-win football game. Let's go out physical them. They're good defensively too. They're good offensively, man. When you got a quarterback like that can extend, they're the dangerous guys out there. But he's been known to throw some up, and obviously he's still young. So, yeah, this is where you got to hope Vic can out-scheme him.
Yeah, I don't think they're very good, but I will give credit. They do find ways to win games late. Right? And part of that is Caleb being.
Listen, you got 3 days to find a way to gash them on the ground. All right, you know what I mean. They gave up 160 between two guys. All right, the Eagles, former, key holder, Kenneth Gainwell ran for 92 today, at a 9.2 average, 55. Broke a 55-yarder, and then of course Warren ran for 68. So there's 160 between two guys right there. So they don't defend the run very well. All right, and again, you can only play who's on your schedule. So, but I agree. When you're not that good, your schedule's not going to be that great. So, they haven't played anybody. But I think this league is full of fucking shitty teams that haven't played anybody. So,
can't argue that.
So
they play somebody Friday.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Can't argue that one.
Absolutely.
Early score. I like where your head's at, Tommy. In the 30s. I mean, we gotta get to the 30s, right? That's what Bill says, right?
Yeah, I mean, 28-24 is a loss in Bill.
By the way, they only got there, and I didn't want to go back. I thought Bill went to sleep. I didn't want to pick at that scab again, but they only got there with the Rams because it was a scoop and score by.
I know.
A guy that blocks the sun.
Appreciate you leaving that out. Appreciate you leaving
that
out.
Got there because the guy in Eclipse picked it up and went and took it to the house.
Sweep's gonna need you to leave that out.
Could have still left it out.
Guys, stop with Doug. I love Dougie P. I love him, but stop it. Frank Reich, I absolutely would because I think he's I would bring them where there's a connection. They're close, right? So I have no problem there. But again, I'm only bringing in somebody that was a former head coach that got their head coaching job because they, were a great coordinator. Or I was giving Kevin Patullo 2 years.
Yeah, that I think is the most likely, right? It's just. Obviously, no one's ever going to turn down a head coaching job, but like Kellen Moore, did you have to go to New Orleans? Doesn't Tennessee sound a lot more better with Cam Ward than New Orleans?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have gone to New Orleans. I mean, but again, I guess he thinks when's he going to get the opportunity again? But if I'm running it back with this offense, I probably would have, waited for a better job in a situation. Right.
I definitely would have.
You were in a good spot. As a grown man that said no plenty of times, there's nothing wrong with staying put sometimes.
And I get it. The prestige of being a head coach in the NFL is obviously nothing I'm ever gonna, understand. But run back try to go back to back, or maybe back to back with this team, or go coach Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck of the.
Well, I don't even think it's prestige, Greg. I think it's just dollars and cents, right? You get paid a shit ton to be an NFL head coach compared to, assistant roles a lot of times.
Yeah. But I mean, the prestige, I guess, is there's only 32 of you, right? You know what I mean?
Well, I could see.
You're in the picture every year. They go down to Hawaii and they're wearing funny shirts and, we can pick the picture apart and have a good time with it. So, of course you want to be part of that picture, but agreed. There's, if you keep doing your job well, the phone's going to ring every year. The phone will ring every year if you keep doing your job. So a job is going to continue to open up, and there might be a better opportunity, because sometimes, and I agree. And here's where Kellen could have used our guidance, as wily veterans. Sometimes you only get one shot. I know you're a young cat, you know what I mean? But if you turn that into a fucking poop show, I know it was already a diaper show. But if you continue and you don't change the diaper and you just let it fucking fill up with shit, then it's going to be ready at your feet, brother. And then you might not get another job.
That's a great call.
And that's not an easy rebuild over there.
No.
There's easy rebuilds and there's
no quarterback. Like you said, I don't know. I don't know if Tennessee was
forget
better.
this quarterback. Even if they had
better.
a great roster right now for the future.
Gotta have a QB.
Like they don't. But my point is, say they just had a really young, good roster and they were a QB away. I could get it, but they're not even like a good young roster that's a QB away. They're like just not a good roster. Period. That's a QB away. Like that's a long time away then. Now, everybody's a short period away when you get your QB. I get it, right? But man, goodness gracious, how long do you get that leash? That's another Dable situation. That dude's fired in 3 years. He's lucky if he's fired in the third year.
Yeah, I mean the quarterback they drafted is playing now. So I mean he's grinding his teeth. So that the clock started on 29-year-old Tyler Schaub. Or however, I think he's old. I don't know how old he is.
Yeah, it's just about.
Yeah.
Not far off. Now Jalen can't be taught. Really?
I've really had enough of the Jalen slander.
The nonsense we go through when on a loss.
Oh my God! It's like they should just shut down the city. Should be an off day. Tomorrow should be an off day. It really should. Because I mean, it is.
This is really
doom and gloom. It's doom and gloom.
This pisses me off. No, this pisses me off because I've heard it too many times, and it's like if you go back on draft night, there's things you cannot question, and the ability to want to learn and get better was one thing you can't question about him, and his leadership is another thing you couldn't question about him. If you wanted to question other intangibles, be my guest. We all had question marks for sure. I think he's answered every question that you can try to put at his feet. All right, every question that you have that you want to come knock on his door and ask him, he's answered it. He's answered it, right? Like there's really nothing left more for him to answer besides go and continue to win, right? He's answered everything. Does he have flaws from the pocket at times? Sure. I mean, every quarterback has their things, right? So, I mean, but he knows how to win football games. He's always been a winner. So I'm tired of him not being able to be taught. Like that just sounds like that was reported by
Derek Gunn.
Like D-Gun now, or somebody that doesn't like him, right? Like I'm tired of it. Like the outside noise that has creeped into this football team by dial radio, by fans, and by people that love drama. Like they just want to find some people aren't happy unless they're complaining. This is what I'm finding out that the Philadelphia media is. They're not happy with winning because there's not enough to complain about. Yep. What can we go find and hunt for to complain about? And this is all we do. And we get spoiled. And since when are we spoiled of an 8 coming into this week, an 8-2 win football team? Like, what are we spoiled about? It's hard to win. You turn on Thursday night, the Bills get outplayed by a Texans team with a backup quarterback in. Like, you can turn it around all the time. Where teams that shouldn't lose or don't show up or whatever it is. And you don't see these teams, and maybe they do get crushed in their, by their own media. But this just seems like it's to a whole nother level.
It
like they ask
AJ
like questions. They ask AJ questions, trying to get him pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. No, it's definitely it's a doom and gloom area. The Mid-Atlantic's tough. The Northeast is tough. Yep, KZ, you're right. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Right? Everybody expects to be 17-0 and score 40 points and give up 9 points on defense and so
It's well to give up 9 on defense.
It's wild.
So instead of like I said, that's why we come in here and try to put our spin on it and give our opinions and try to stay semi-rational as possible. Especially you two guys. I mean, like the easiest thing to do is, like I said, when you're a bad that's to me, that's why it's easy for the Dial and all these other places. When you're a bad organization, it's easy to scream into the microphone. You know what I mean? Like if you're a Giants fan or a guy that covers the fucking Giants, of course you're going to scream into the microphone every Monday about Dable and about losing game after game with a freaking lead. And now Dable's gone, and they did the same thing today. So they'll scream into the microphone again tomorrow. All right, that's the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing and expect different results. That's who you are. That's who you are, Giants. So, and that's not just them. That's a lot of these organizations. So there's no reason to scream in the microphone here. I mean, it's one loss. It's bad. It's against your hated rival. It wasn't pretty. A lot of bad things. I think we addressed all the horrible things that occurred, and what they need to clean up, and it's up to them now to clean them up. And then the beautiful thing about having a short week is you get right back on the horse. Like I said, they're in tomorrow looking at the film. I'd imagine, not being ever been in an NFL locker room, but if you weren't on a short week, tomorrow would be an off day. See you Wednesday. But since it's a short week, they're in there tomorrow. We're looking at film, getting their bodies right because with the injuries, and then you got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, to prepare. So I fully expect them to answer the bell on Friday. All right, so that goes without saying. I don't know where they are offensively. I don't know where they'll be offensively, but I think they're plenty good enough to take care of business on Friday against a Bears team that's winning games, and bends the flavor of the month, and nobody's crowning them, but. They're a good football team. They're a better football team than they were. You know what I mean?
Yeah, listen. I mean, today's simple as this: if you win a tournament battle today, you probably win the game, right? Another situation where they usually win that battle, and the Eagles that is, and they didn't. So if you just win that battle on Friday, you win that football game. The Eagles win Friday if they win a turnover battle.
What's this fucking guy talking about? What even ball suck? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Right? We give you the fucking platform. Right? Nobody's fucking ball sucking. I don't know. Please elaborate. Right? We're not yelling into the fucking microphone. There's an 8-3 football team. Right? I mean, the sky's not falling. So what do you want? Is that what you want? Right? It's a fucking great organization. Defending champs. What do you want?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Sean, because you said all off season, first 4 weeks last year, they had to dummy down the system for him. Eagles win. It's not just Jalen. Nobody is complaining. Nobody said it was just Jalen. It's everybody. They have a really good football team. But quarterbacks get the most scrutiny and the most credit. Naturally, it's how the position works. So, I don't know what you're saying. You know what I mean? I don't know what you're getting at. You came up with the Kellen Moore, tried to teach him. You made an outlandish statement that Jalen couldn't take the teaching. So what do you mean? You're telling me that he's not coachable by that statement. And to say he didn't take on the teaching, they won a goddamn Super Bowl. Kellen Moore got a head coaching job. So for you to make that statement is an outlandish comment to make, just on the surface alone, right? And you want to go deeper than we can, but you making that just on the surface is outlandish. So
yeah, it's terrible timing. Super Bowl champs and a Super Bowl MVP. I mean, it's a little embarrassing. A little embarrassing with the timing. Maybe wait till they lose 4 in a row, and he's got 1 touchdown and 10 picks. I don't. I'm not sure. I don't know where you're going with that.
I thought he was too at first, Spells, because your comment was up. Spells' comment was up, and I was like, wait, what did I miss? And then I saw it. And then I saw it. You clarified. You clarified.
Spells is our guy. We love yelling at Spells.
But yeah, I mean, I don't they're not allowed to have a down year too. Like they're having a down year. And like I said, the perfect season that for a running back to have a down year would be a year after he had a monster year. So it makes sense that offensive line's banged up after they had a long season of pounding it.
Yeah.
He's a little He's a step, a half a semi-second slower, because that's what happens after a year like that. Because not only was it a monster year, people forget that he won a Super Bowl. So that year becomes even longer than most running backs deal with. So it's even a longer year. And then look at the almost injuries he almost had this year. So I'm like, we're really going down, getting tangled up right on the knee, and somehow being like, oh, thank God he's okay. He had the groin, right? So he's had some things where you're like, oh, he's just an inch away from being gone because of the wear and tear of that season. So knowing that coming in, that's to me why I would have, from earlier in the year, I would have been splitting series with younger guys on purpose to give those guys early reps, not to say this isn't my main running back, is to get those guys early reps, give change of paces, right? I'm a big change of pace guy in this league. If you can change the pace in this league, you're even better. That being said, right, the whole long story short about this is that you would have saved him 8 weeks of giving him 20 carries or 20 touches. You get where I'm going with this? And now his legs can start to come back instead of week 1. You get where I'm going? Week 1, it's carry. No, you signed A.J. Dillon. You have Will Shipley at the time. Give those guys carries. Now, Bigsby, every time he comes in, he busts an 8-yarder, 9-yarder. Well, guess what? Give the guy a series or 2.
You only got 1 carry today.
Yeah, like, come on. It's inexcusable when the guy's averaging what he's averaging per carry.
In a game we only ran 10 times.
Yeah, and I'm not crying. Like today's 1 carry wasn't a passing down. So I'll take that one for a grain of salt. Sure. But I've watched him run in non-passing downs, and he's averaging 9.1 yards a carry. So maybe give him a little bit more to football. Like I said, Will Shipley's averaging 4 yards a carry. A.J. Dillon was averaging 5 when he's healthy. Everybody's averaging more than Saquon is. Now, he has more attempts, of course, but it doesn't hurt to take those attempts down this year when you do feel like your team's good enough. Hear what I'm trying to say here, because it's a long game. You're not playing him. You're load managing a great running back after one of the best years of all time. Literally one of the best years of all time. You're load managing him. So just do it. Like, it shouldn't hurt your offense when you have an A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith.
Just look at the Lions. I mean, obviously, I complain to you guys because I have them on fantasy. But if I was a Lions fan, I would say to myself, man, how does Gibbs ever leave the field? Yep. Right? But to your point, Montgomery's is a good back. So they're giving, but more so, they're giving him a puff, man. They're trying to keep that wear and tear off him because he's that home run hitter. He's absolutely electric. Can Tank be, the Eagles Montgomery? Who knows? I mean, every time he gives an opportunity, he's ripping off yards, so I don't know.
He's definitely dealing with the wear and tear from last year, Jesse. Every running back in the history of the game that led the league in rushing usually comes back the next year and has a little bit of a down year. Now, when you magnify that by having over 2,000 yards, go look at those numbers the next year. And then go tell me how many of those guys with over 2,000 went on and won a Super Bowl. Because, you know what I mean? So that's even more games, more time that your body can't get that little extra rest. You don't even, if your team's not even a playoff team, you got an extra 2 months. You know what I mean? If your team's a playoff team, then you get what I'm saying with this. But either way, playoff team or not, good team or not good team, most of those great running backs will have a little bit of a slide that next year. Following year, they'll pop again. Like Barry Sanders talked about it. So it's like, you know what I mean? How hard it is after that monster 2,000 year. 2,000 year he's talking about, not just like a 1,200 year or 1,500. You know what I mean? Like not even that type of year. 2K.
Yeah. Even look down in Baltimore. I mean, Derrick Henry's not having a great year. You know what I mean? He's not replicating his 2,000 yard output.
Oh, it's hard, man.
So and it's Tommy. It goes back to like kind of what I said earlier, right? Like when you used to win a Super Bowl, you used to get a little grace period of like a year, 2 years. Like it didn't really matter what happened that next year. But because the way this team was built and the expectations that I think they put on themselves and we put on them as well, it's like You're not allowed to have
you
a down year.
No, you
It's
see
not
plenty of
even
Super
that.
Bowl
It's not
hangover.
even that.
Super Bowl hangover is a thing. You know what I mean? So.
It's I think more of the Super Bowl loss hangover, right? Is the big thing that kills teams, and we saw that in 2024 or 2023, I should say. We saw that hangover hit us late, right? It was a weird hangover, like it carried when we were winning games, but it wasn't a hangover. But yeah, you're right. So Super Bowl hangover, winner or loser, doesn't matter. It's hard to go back. It's hard to win games in this league. So like, we talked about this for weeks and weeks this year. Like the Brady Patriots, if you really go back and look through 17 goddamn years of it, okay, when they win Super Bowls the next year, something on that team struggled, right? Something offensively wasn't as good. Was it their passing game? Was it their running game? But they found ways to make it work, and they found ways to win games. That's all that mattered every year. And they would you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And they would be the ugliest 8-2 football team you saw. Like, I don't know how they're 8-2, right? Like how we talk about the Eagles. No clue how they're 8-2. Well, they're 8-2, guys. You know what I mean? So like that should be expected after a Super Bowl win. But if you're 8-2, how are you complaining? Like if you lost Super Bowl last year and you're 8-2, I can see where the complaints are coming in. Well, we're trying to get over the hump. So to your point, Greg, because of the youth of this team is why we see the window.
Yep.
It's
Why us as fans want more.
And the
right?
talent. I mean, the roster.
Yeah, it's a talent.
So
it's a talent.
I mean,
it's NFC title games. It's not even Super Bowl talk.
You know, he makes trades. He made, they win in the draft. They win in trades. They win by signing guys. So there's, the offseason, they never sleep in the offseason. You know what I mean? So, you see plenty of other sports organizations do that. So when that happens, the expectations get a little lower, and it's like, all right, well, we'll just be happy to let's see what we can do with the current roster. You know what I mean? They're constantly moving the chess pieces around. You know what I mean? And that's why they're an elite organization. I'm saying this as an outsider. You know what I mean? I'm not. There's no green here. There's no green underwear on. You know what I mean? Like it's a guy looking in.
Good to have you looking.
Yeah. Keep the blinds open.
How's it look for down there?
Keep the bits okay. Yeah, I mean, offense struggles a little bit.
Yeah, thanks.
God damn it, you too?
Appreciate you. Had no clue.
Could have left that alone.
No, I mean, Jesse, look at it. It makes you respect. It makes when you go back and you look at the Patriots, Chiefs, really the Patriots. I mean, Chiefs had a great run too. Right, their run's not over yet, but you know what I mean. Like when you go back and look at these, it does make you respect it even more because how hard it is to do it, and how hard it is to follow up and respond that second year and keep winning games because you're the hunted, right? And the Eagles are the hunted every game as a reigning champs. You're hunted. Your schedule's harder. Naturally, it's supposed to be harder. Not all times does it work out that way.
Oh, they're always they're always going to be the hunted because not only are they the hunted because they're good, is because now they're the most polarizing, right? Because of the tush push, the most hated play amongst people that can't stop it or do it. You know what I mean? So then that's it became a topic of discussion this offseason. They voted on it. Yeah. So, they're always going to be a lightning rod, and when you're good, that's what happens, so you got to embrace that, and you got to, and you got to have thick skin,
We hit it. How can they run the ball in the next 5 days?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
and you can run the ball on the Bears, so you got to figure it out. All right, this is this is a 100-yard game for Saquon, and a 50-yard game for Tank. If you're asking me, how game plan going in. This is a 100-yarder for Saquon and another 50 for Tank, and you try to run the football. I understand they're banged up. I get it. I'm just saying you can run the football on this team. All right, so
I'll say another 40,
offensive lineman.
Another 40
in the National Football League, you're a lineman. A member of the Eagles and Jeff Statland, you want to put your hands on people. So they got to move people around this week. On Friday, they gotta win the line of scrimmage like they've done for years on both sides. because I think somebody mentioned it earlier. They got home once today. All right, that's concerning. All right, so when you don't win the line of scrimmage on both sides, all right, that's how you collapse, and that's how you get L's.
Yeah,
right? And that's why this team has been great for a long time, because they've been great on both sides. They've been great in the trenches, offensively and defensively.
Yeah. So when we first started watching football, appreciate you, Ed.
Thanks, Eddie.
And yeah, I would suggest everybody stops listening to Dial and listens here. But no, I'll say, like, you know, to that, like when you first, you know, you teaching kids what football is about. You start with how you win, and you win up front, and you win by a great offensive and defensive line that's able to create pressure, stop pressure, run the football, stop the run. You know, that's how you win. I thought the defensive front did a good job today of stopping the run early in this football game, set passing situations, right? You make teams one-dimensional, right? You play the defensive strength. I just said that, saying that we're one-dimensional all the time now because of our running game. So to Sweeps' point, you know, I even need Jalen to add 40 yards into this rushing attack, because, you know, when he ran the football early today, right, it just opened things up. Like, naturally, when he runs the ball, it opens up everything. So, like, he needs not just design runs. Well, like, I go back to the RPO. Like, the RPO can be so dangerous with Saquon and Jalen, right? And I don't think they run it.
That's how you can do it, to answer, you know, the guy's question. I appreciate the comment, but I mean, yeah, we got eyes. They're not winning the line of scrimmage, right? But doesn't, you know, not every game's the same, right? So, you know, I mean, like, that's what we're saying. We're expecting, you know, to make some adjustments, all right, in a short week, and try to and stick to it, all right, and not just abandon it. You know what I mean?
Well, they get 100 yards of Saquon because he's really that carry away, right? He just hasn't really had it. He's had one. I mean, he's a carry away from 100. You know, he's a 60-yarder or a 70-yarder away from it. Which is, you know, again, they haven't. Yeah, I mean, if they do more RPO with Jalen, and allow Jalen to keep it and run it at times in that format, you know, I think it's going to open up a lot of things. And
to that point, like, that's what kind of made that third down call, I guess, kind of to Billy's point. That's what kind of made that third down call kind of interesting, is it was just a pure drop back. Yeah. There was no either getting Jalen out on the outside, right? There was no move in the pocket. There was no RPO. It was just a pure shotgun drop back. The other thing I noticed today, too, is we didn't go under center a lot.
No.
The last few weeks, we were doing a lot of under center stuff. And we didn't do it. I don't think we did it once.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there was a lot of this, you know, a lot of bad things happened. It was a perfect storm, you know what I mean? And coaching is not off the hook, you know what I mean? So it had, you know, this league will make you scratch your head, you know what I mean? So a team that masters the tush push, you know, you would figure that they would try that twice in a row, all right, and extend the drive and go from there, instead of a straight drop back like he was, you know, playing Tecmo Bowl football. I mean, that was like the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, he just, there was no athleticism. There was no chance there. He just went straight back and got engulfed.
Yeah. And with a big hole up the middle, too.
Yeah.
Where he could have just taken off early. But to your point, yeah, I mean, like, I didn't even think about two straight tushies. I mean, I just thought,
tush, right?
I thought run the ball tush or something to get Jalen rolling. You know, short throw for a first, or him, whatever. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. The game's over. That's how, you know, once you're at this point of the show. Yeah, but I'm on the Bears. And
Bears.
It's a winnable game. I think it's a game that can get us feeling good again about ourselves. In terms of just like, hey, look at our response. We're 9-3. Yep. Now we're not, you know, you win that football game, you're 9-3. Come on. Sometimes you want to be playing for something too. Down the stretch.
Like I said, man, guys are missing, but you shouldn't, you know, what do we talk about in baseball, right? You know, as a hitter, right? Your approach never changes, all right? The situation changes. You know, sometimes your plan has to change. Man on third, you know, listen, you got to shorten up, whatever, right? But your approach as a hitter doesn't change, all right? You're an aggressive guy, or you're a guy that likes to go, you know, drive the ball the other way. Whatever your approach never change. So my point is, whether you got injuries or not, you should never go away from who you are. All right. This team has always been a physical team in both trenches. And I understand to defense's point, like they're not winning the line of scrimmage. We couldn't agree with you more, buddy. We're watching the games with you, man. So, but you have to, that's your identity, all right? That got you to being who you are and, losing the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl and being and being who you are. You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta get back to who you are. You know what I mean? Don't try to be cute and try to be somebody you're not. I know you got playmakers and you got plenty of weapons on this offense. You know what I mean? But and again, I know you got to make adjustments if without Lane and guys are banged up and there's no more like.
Even with Lane, it doesn't matter. Even without Lane. Even without Lane,
they should be able to run the football, better.
Run it with Lane anyway.
Better than they are.
We couldn't run it with Lane anyway. So even with Lane, it didn't matter. We haven't ran the ball well anyway. So to your point, it's like it's getting back to the identity. Running the football is a 1-2 thing. It's a scheme thing too, right? And it's just weird. It's a rhythm. Now, you can't identify. It's hard to identify what's really wrong with the run game either. It's crazy. Besides Jalen just not being as big of a part of it as he has been in years past.
Sure.
In my opinion, and I think
yeah,
you're trying not to have a guy get killed. It's very easy to get killed in this league.
I think that's where like some of the
to defend it
comes into play. Right, that's where some of the play calling issues come into play. Like we're always up the middle instead of like, hey, let's get outside a little bit, right? Tom, we talked about the last few weeks. Hey, let's get Saquon on the outside.
Yeah.
And I thought early on in the game, I thought we were that plan was there. Whether it was the run, whether it was the pass, right? We were getting Saquon out in space. We were getting guys open in space and letting them run after the ball, and then everything stopped. Yeah. Everything stopped.
I've never seen like it. Like I really thought the game was over. Like, and I don't ever feel that way.
Yeah.
But I was like 21-0. I'm like, okay, this is a wrap with our defense.
Yeah,
like,
and they got to throw the ball. So pin your ears back and they're not the offensive line that they used to be. Pin your ears back and I fully expected this to be a 4 or 5 sack game. Absolutely.
No pressure.
Yep.
And I think that's where. I do think that's where, having a Monday night game, a Sunday night game, right, and then followed up by a Fox game in a week, right? Yeah. Like I think you run out of get up games, right? I think naturally you just run out of get up games for the front. Is what I'm saying, right? You can run out of a get up game. Now Friday you got to get up now, and I think Nick said that. I didn't even mean to say that, but Nick said that in his presser. What's your message to the team? Get up. Next team, get up. We got another one. We got to get up for the next one. It's time to get up for them now, right? And that was his message to the team. Just get up, respond. We're on to the next one. And I'll say the same thing. It's really just get up for the Bears. What do you do when something like that happens?
Yeah, get back up. Exactly. Find it, and like I said, and the powers to be, get in there and find ways to put your players in the best situation to succeed. You know what I mean? So whether it's getting the guy on the outside, whether it's doubling a guy, when it's pulling a guard. I understand, pulling a guy, getting the guy outside. Can we run a sweep? You got a home run hitter in Barkley. You know what I mean? Like, let's find a way to get him, maybe get him outside, get him in space. You know what I mean? So he doesn't, the holes aren't there. So that we all know that they were last year. You can drive a truck through, and then you still had to be. It wasn't like, oh, anybody can do that. You know what I mean? But there was, giant holes that he got through. He got to the second level last year more than anybody maybe in the history of the game. Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? Let's call it spade a spade. Without being touched. Yep. He could play touch football. And last year he could have played touch football and he got to the second level. So that's not happening this year. So now that's what we're talking about, creativity. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get out in space. And get this guy. find a way to, get, bounce something outside, get out in space and get around the corner and see if you can, you can break a 25, 30 yarder. You know what I mean? They don't have to be the 60 yarders. They're fun. You know what I mean? But how about 25, 30 yarders?
Yeah.
I agree.
Shit, I'll take a 12-yarder at this point.
Well, yeah. Of course. Yeah, I mean, they keep the guys out of the box.
Down.
Yeah,
take a first down.
keep the guys out of the box. Man.
You guys want to do crumb of the week?
What's a first down like on a run?
7 minutes. 7 minutes left in the broadcast. So you want to do a crummer? It's been a while since we all done a crumb together.
Yeah.
You got a Penn State, Greg? Is that where you're at with?
It's kind of a crumb, but not really a crumb. Well, first of all, real quick, I think James Franklin landed in a perfect spot for him. I think
100%.
Virginia Tech is the perfect spot. It's a perfect marriage. James Franklin recruits the DMV area, that Delaware, Maryland, Virginia area really well already. And there's no pressure at Virginia Tech. You win a couple games.
1,000%.
You win a couple games. You maybe beat Dabo once, or Dabo might be leaving. So your only competition is Clemson and Florida State in theory, right?
Yeah,
so
it's an absolute home run hire. We know what kind of recruiter he is.
He'll win 9-10 games a year every year.
He got this.
And be there for 10 years.
Yeah.
This is is not a place that wants to or expects to just be 9-3, 9-3, 10-2 every year. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is the place that expects championships. You know what I mean? So
especially recently, right? You did all that, and that was all fine.
Yes, he got him. He got him back to prominence, and then he got him as far as he could get him. So correct. His expiration date was on. His milk was bad. It was time for him to go. But I agree. I think it was a home run hire for them. Absolutely.
Yeah. My crumb, though, it is Penn State, and part of Penn State is you fired James Franklin in October, and you still don't have a head coach, right? All these guys are either getting locked up, right? Everyone's getting extensions, and you're not even in play for the big guys. But please, 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 and I don't mean any disrespect to the guy. I don't mean any ill will. The guy is Penn State through and through, but please do not hire Terry Smith. Please do not hire Terry Smith. You don't fire James Franklin in October to then, because he couldn't win the big game, to then turn around and hire a guy off of his staff. Just because, and he has the guys playing well, and I know it's a push after the most recent game, the win last night, but you beat Michigan State, you beat Nebraska without Raiola, and you're going to beat Rutgers to go to the Pinstripe Bowl. Like, let's not act like Terry Smith is beating Iowa or Ohio State, right? Terry Smith's going to be in the conversation, but please don't make the mistake and hire him. And again, that's no disrespect to Terry. I know people are probably going to be like, you hate Terry. And I'm like, no, I don't hate Terry. I just it's a non-move for the future. You can't do that.
Yeah, my crumb's simple. It's just, you would have thought we were 2-8 going into this week.
Amen.
Of a Dallas game that's always should be looked as a rivalry game and a game you want to go win, and now with all the distractions and when the first thing that the Fox broadcast sideline reporters are talking about to start this broadcast are Jalen Hurts and people on this football team not liking the things he does on the football field and having a problem with it and blah, 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 right? And that's like the first things being talked about. I just have a major issue with it. I have a major issue with what the local media created here, and what's turned into more of a national thing. And it's just weird to me for a guy that just wants to win football games, that people are just going to look for any way to try to break this team up locally because they just can't be happy. These dry fucking dryer sheet beat reporters shouldn't even have access to some of the questions to be able to even allow to have access to be able to ask some of the questions that they ask. So that's where I'm at. this is an 8-3 football team. It's a team that wins a lot of games. The quarterback and coach has won a ton since their marriage began. That's what we define it all off of. That's what we define great coaches and great quarterbacks off of, is their wins, losses. How many Super Bowls do they have? How many title games were they in? Right? When we all sit back and look at their body of work at the end of the day and what gets them in the Canton and what makes them great, these are the things that you look back on, right? Not what the roster was and this and that, right? Those things aren't remembered as much as just the simple facts.
Did you win?
Yep. Did you win? And the crazy record we've had with them together is just it's crazy. So that all that stuff needs to just go away. So there's my crow.
Love it. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, probably too. Staying in college football too, a little too for the first one is Mario Cristobal and Miami. And listen, this isn't of course it affects people gambling. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about I don't know how more guys don't get punched in the face in the handshake line. You know what I mean? And that's I think the first time it happens, then it's going then people are going to be like, oh shit, what just happened? You understand? 4th and 2, 20 seconds left. You're up by 10. Hand the ball off. All right. It's this isn't. They want to tell you, and Louis Riddick was talking about it. So that's what probably led to the flame in the fire. Like, oh, we need style points. We got to look good to the committee. You beaten by Virginia Tech by 17 ain't getting you into the playoffs. I got news for you. Okay, so whether you won by 10 or 17, one going to do it. Right, but at the end of the day, you look like a jackass and a scumbag. It's a scumbag move. All right, so it's just I got no time for it, and I cannot wait for the day that the guy snaps. I'm hoping for it. I know there's state troopers that come in and they're there, they're behind each coach, right? But they don't know what you can get one off. You can get a haymaker off, dude. All right, and I'm gonna love the day that it happens, right? Because it's ridiculous. All right. Clean it up, dude. Clean your life up, man. It's the game's over. Knock it off. All right. And the second one, same thing. College, college football, guys are getting paid now. So we try not to pick on kids. His stats wind up, being okay. And I'm a huge Haynes King guy. But a horrible job by not just him, but the Georgia Tech team. Chance to be in the ACC title game at home, and you get absolutely doored. You fall behind 28-0 to a Pitt team that just got rolled by Notre Dame. We know Notre Dame's good, but it's a terrible performance at home. And then you climb back in it, and then he throws a monster pick, a 99-yard pick as they're going in to make that thing interesting. So. He came up short, real small for a guy that's led them for years, and he's a tough kid and he's a good football player, it's just, came up real small. And like I said, we try not to, to throw too much shade at these kids, because they are kids, but you're getting paid now. So when you get paid, you're going to get that same scrutiny. You're going to get that same scrutiny that pro guys get. All right. Yep. Oh, by the way,
water's warm.
That's it.
They're setting themselves up though for an interesting playoff here because everyone's got everyone's got Notre Dame ranked higher than Miami, but yet Miami's beaten Notre Dame.
Yep.
So and there's a couple
that's a fucking
other
joke. That's a fucking
there's
joke.
A couple other of them in there in the top 10, top 12.
That's
the team that they have rated higher has lost to the team rated lower.
Listen, then they're going to get themselves out of control because if they're going to that's favoritism then. Right, like if you beat somebody head to head, it shouldn't even be up for debate. I don't care when you did it. I don't care if
the most egregious is right now it's Notre Dame. They have Notre Dame ranked above Miami. Like, I mean,
and I don't care where that game's played at either. I don't care if that's played in the beach in Miami or in a goddamn church in Notre Dame. I mean, I don't care where it's played at. You beat a team head to head. That should go into consideration big time.
Because if you look at Notre Dame's wins, they don't compare to Miami's wins.
They do not.
Notre Dame hasn't beaten anybody.
No. You can count. You can say they beat Pitt, but again, if you really watch that game, Pitt's not even on the same. Shouldn't be on the same field as them. It's not even like fair. Like it's just a size difference of the players. You could just tell. Like, is this This is a D1 team. You know what I mean? It's Pitt D1 today. Like they bring in the JV squad. Like it's just like the speed, everything was just different. And
a couple pick sixes,
yeah. I mean, it's just different. So, but listen, it's still a great time of the year coming up. You know?
Absolutely.
Sure is.
And happy thing. We'll see. You know, I'll see everybody Wednesday night, but happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there that isn't joining Wednesday, because I know a lot of you will be out. Sippity toot-on
with the big fella. I'm sure the big fella will be going out.
I mean,
he always looks for a time to go out.
Guy just hunts for one. You know what I mean?
Tuesdays.
I had to check in today just to let us know. Like, I'll be back for a 3-week stretch, it looks like, he said. After the bender tonight.
After the bender.
Yeah, I'm going out tonight. Like, he's like it's just funny. Like, he's the only guy who can, like, and I'll just crumb him. He's the only guy. He can't go out and, like, be like a 40-year-old and have like 3 to 5 drinks and just be like, yeah, I'll come home, I'll be good. You know what I mean? He's got to go out and get absolutely annihilated. You know what I mean? Like he's like he's 20. Like he's not even 21 yet. Like he's 20. Like I just want to, like I'm the final odds by this extra drink. Like, you know what I mean? Not allowed to have it. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God. I love you, big fella. And I don't. So we'll see you when we see it. But no, great show, boys.
Oh yeah, on the way out, I got another one. I mean, real quick, it'll take 2 seconds. And I said it in my audio. I mean, the fact that we got to call this guy or normal people or you other people that follow the rules.
I didn't know it was a thing.
Other people got to call. Other people that follow the rules got to call him Arch Manning. Is beside me. Will never happen in my household. He's fucking Archie. And if you didn't want to fucking be in your fucking, you want to be. You didn't want him to be in Grandpa's fucking footsteps, then you should have named him fucking Bill. All right, that's what I got. No fucking time for Arch. No fuck you. I mean,
Bob Manning,
fucking Seal and Cher, Arch. Get the fuck out of here, fucking Archie. That's what you are. You're Archie fucking Manning, fucking the third or the fucking second. I don't give a fuck.
Facts.
Fuck out of here.
Facts.
Bring that bullshit to somebody else, Cooper. Sorry.
It's fucking great. It's great. All right. Love you all.
He gets scared off by that almost loss.
See you next Sunday.
We can see Don in a minute.
Well, since we
whooped that ass.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, been a hot minute for me, but
he's been on that. No, because he's been on his back ever since the loss, because that's what Jared was.
Yeah.
So him and Jared.
Another 4th down stop.
Yeah, him and Jared were 0 for 5 on 4s. Him, Jared, and Dan. So he's, he hibernated. He snuck one out today. So I'm sure. Give it another week, and he'll be back
Wednesday.
He'll pop in. It's 12:06. He's gonna pop in.
He'll pop in Wednesday night. Yeah. No, we got the Bears, and that helps him, right? So he'll pop in. He'll pop in Wednesday.
Oh, that's another quick one. The supposed Bears-Eagles alliance, right? We took care of the NFC North. They took care of the NFC East. We didn't need your help, Bears. We didn't need your help. But go ahead, do you?
Yeah, I didn't know it was a thing, but I do know
it's
it's
on Twitter.
Yeah,
we're out. We're out. We love you all. Fuck you, Twitter. And everybody else, you're cool.
Happy Thanksgiving. Later.
Happy Thanksgiving. See you next Sunday. I'll see you Wednesday. We out.